That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it.
I'm like, wonder where she's at. Wonder if she's okay. So I'm just glad to see you guys or to see you check in every now and then. And not that you need to, but we worry about you guys whenever we don't see you for a time. And Decades of Darkness, how's it going? Y'all, I was, normally our day is Sunday, right? But and I was gonna schedule this for yesterday, but it was like I was edging up closer to the time that the stream would start. So I was like, oh well, let me just do it tomorrow. That way I'm not putting myself under unnecessary pressure that I do to myself. But but then I kind of it gives me more time to get the jitters. I don't know why I'm like that. Hey, hello back, random old lady TS. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to have you. Oh yeah, I've been watching this too. The Kim Jensen, the best friend of Shanna, should be locked up too for that hairdo. Okay, just for the hairdo, she looks like a damn cockatoo. That's from a movie, by the way. I forget her name. Wanda Sykes and Jennifer Lopez and Jane Fonda, I think. Anyways, what is it? Something about a mother-in-law. I think with Matthew McConaughey, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But if anybody knows the movie name, anyway, look like a damn cockatoo with that hair. I straight up call Kim Jensen, and I mean I've heard this before, so it's not even my original idea or thought, but Kim Jensen is the Melanie Gibb of the Shanna Gardner case, basically, in my opinion, too. That's how I think. And I know, like with Mario Fernandez, I don't know all the last names. I'm doing good to remember that part. But Mario, I don't know if they're divorced now or not, but he was married to Shanna Gardner, and he's on trial right now. And Donna, she's been mentioning this to me, that how these trials that are going on, what order, when, and how, and all the things. But then I still have that pinched nerve or whatever it is in my freaking shoulder. So that's why I'm not on camera again today. It's like I started to get dressed. I put makeup on, had my hair straightened. I could actually use my flat iron with my hand. Like, I don't know. It's like I lost power in my hand. I don't have the strength to like pick things up or to squeeze things. It's really spooky. Okay. I'll just tell you that. It's creepy to not have that all of a sudden. And I'm like, oh my God, did I have a damn stroke? But it's a pinched nerve in my shoulder slash, not really my neck, but it's in my shoulder blade, in an injury that I had a long time ago. My trapezius muscle. You don't really know that even exists. Really, I didn't until I heard it. And that's how I know. But anyways, all this from just sleeping in a hospital chair, next to Jason's bed when I was really exhausted. Um, yeah. Welcome to old. Welcome to geriatric time, right? Hey, hey, Faye loves nature. How you doing, Hawkeyes? Good to see you. And Lamisa, how you holding it down over there in Canada? I'm gonna make the family dinner, and they should be home pretty soon from seeing some live jazz. Wow! See y'all tonight. Well, bring it on, girl. Welcome in, everybody. Not me. Okay. How you doing? And Googie, is it Googie or Googie? You must settle the debate now, please. I'm like, I've been calling you Googie, but I hear other people call you Googie. I want to know. uh, Hello, Heather in the library. Good to see you. Starting to give a shit. All right, you back? I called you out, I think, last time whenever I was like, are you the person that was like too old to give a shit? Now you're starting to give a shit. Are you the same person? Another inquiring minds want to know. Just kidding. You don't have to answer that. Hey, Aussie, Cheryl, and Amanda. Glad to have you from down under. Always. Robbie, welcome in. Angela holding down Facebook over there. Thank you. She's holding the other part of Canada down. I don't know. Monster-in-law. Thank you, just be. You're the yin to my yang. I swear. She helps me fill in all the things that I blank on. Okay. I was trying to think of. Oh my God, I'm doing it again. Wives' tales, but a cautionary tale. Then it was like the whole next time she was like, "It's cautionary tale." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's it. That's it." I know, right? Them damn nerves. I know. Them damn nerves. I was born with plenty of them. That's the earmark of a true friend. Thank you. And I feel the same way, Krisha. Awesome. I'm glad. I mean, just, worry about you. Worry about people who, I don't know, who I care about. How about that? Bless Mama. How you doing? Welcome in. And DN14. How's it going? Hello back. And again, just me. Hi. Sorry. And Marcy K. Hello. Welcome in. Ski Utah. Hey Krisha. Hi everybody. Happy Monday. I had a an old boss, Miss Pam. Miss Pam. I worked at a finance company and I'd walk in Monday mornings and she'd say, "Happy Monday." And I was like, oh my God, I just wanted to like walk back out the door. I'm not a morning person. She was, but it was happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, whatever day we were working, happy that day. She was happy all the time. Anyways, Miss Pam, never forget her. She's from, it has something to do with San Bernardino, where Lori's from. Where Tim Ballard is from, apparently. And somebody got arrested there or went there or something recently. And I just can't remember what that connects to. And I was like, oh no, not another San Bernardino. Now I'm racking my brain again. Yay. Nothing to do with what you said, Ski Utah. Thank you. I hope you had a great weekend too. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Olaf. What's up? What's up? Glad you're here. We've been wanting to hear back from you all week. You asked us to email you. Haha. You have any? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I just need to check it. Y'all, this thing with whatever, this pinched nerve or whatever it is, it really is throwing me off. That's what I was going to say earlier about, the reason I'm not streaming Mario's trial is because I can't sit here like I'm rocking back and forth. You know what I mean? Like I go side to side just to kind of manage or tolerate or I don't know, cope with the pain. It's really weird. And it's and again, these are just old people moments, but old people problems, OPP, right? And it's making like my pinky and my the finger next to my pinky like numb. And like, so yesterday I put on my makeup and everything. And then like when I decided to just schedule it for today instead of yesterday, my eyes got real puffy and I feel like I had like an allergic reaction or something, maybe to my makeup. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks since I could put it on because of the pinched nerve. It's getting on my nerves. But I don't know. It's just making me really hard to like sit up and complete a task. And I mean, it's already difficult, okay, because of ADHD. So I don't know. It's just been a bitch. How about that? It's been a bitch. And I don't know how else to remedy it besides stuff that one of my moderators sent to me a while back, a couple of years ago actually, that I've been rubbing on there. I don't know what to do. We've tried the chiropractor. I don't know. I'm biofreeze. Yeah, I know. I like things with lidocaine in it, so it numbs it, right? I don't want to feel the shit. take it off, take it out. I don't need that nerve. Turns out, but I will check my email. Promise. I promise. Thank you also for emailing me. Yeah, it is a pinched nerve. It's pissing me off. And yes, okay, well, only because you say this, starting to give a shit. I have 2 forms of rheumatoid arthritis. I know the feeling well. That's I think that's the difference in this pain is the aching. It feels like it has arthritis in it. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain it. I was in a very bad motorcycle accident back in 2014. You know, there's no doors or nothing around you in a motorcycle. So just know that. Don't take your helmet off, especially close to home, because that's when you're more likely to get into an accident, by the way. I'm here to tell you the hard way. We were just about to be home and I took my helmet off. And I mean, I was stretching. I mean, I had been on the bike all day, on the back of the bike at that. And I just happened to have proper attire on that day. And by proper attire, I mean some Miss Me jeans and, you know, a t-shirt and tennis shoes. But we had went on a run that day and it was long. It was a long ass day. And it was like the end of July. It was hot as hell. And right when we were about to turn our road, I took my helmet off and I was stretching. And next thing I know, I have like 3 flashes in my memory, you know, of like the tail light and, you know, the tail light. And I mean, usually I'd be sitting on around the tail light, you know, but I mean, that's the bike, from what I know or what I remember is the brake locked up, which I mean is crazy. And we went flying. So I flew about 35 feet in the air, landed in a deep ass ditch. And, I mean, I don't know how I didn't die. I really don't. It was wild. I don't know where I lost my phone. I still never found the helmet. And I was just really jacked up on one side, my left side. I had a knot, you know, where the helmet was supposed to be protecting, but nothing, you know, they did a scan and everything. My left knee was busted up. My like I had my hand in a ball, like not a fist, but kind of, you know, a loose fist, I guess. And my left pinky, like that side of my hand was the worst. And then as it got closer to the middle finger, to the pointer finger, it wasn't as bad, but I was missing skin. I mean, talk about 3rd-degree burns or, you know, road rash of any kind is, oh my God. Okay. Talk about blackout whenever you go to take your first shower or whatever afterwards. I mean, I was just like, oh my God, I don't remember. Anyways, I don't wish that on anybody. Okay. On my worst enemies. I don't, oof, that is something. Ugh. Oof. Look, let's move on because I'll sit here. It just sounds bad. I need to get a massage. It's been a long time since I've had one, for sure. Years. Abrasion burn? Oh, well, yeah, road rash. And my fiance at the time, he also had road rash really bad. I mean, we were both jacked up for quite a while, but it could have been worse. It really could have been worse. And I'm thankful that it wasn't. Just, man, I learned things the hard way. So I don't know if you've noticed that yet, but hold on. Let me see if it'll pull it up. I'm going to gross you out real quick. I'm looking. I don't want to show you. I pulled up scars. So let's see. Let's see what it brought here. Okay, there it is. Yikes. Ew, it's hard to look at even you. Anyways, if you're going to be squeamish, just letting you know, I'm about to show you some pictures. Look at my RC. Look at my night. Look how bad that is. See what I'm saying? It hurt really bad. Oh, cinematic photo. There you go. There's my knees. But didn't, I mean, all it did was leave a really cool, um, where there's a slit in the pants or cut in the knees or whatever. And, you buy them that way. These are my Miss Me jeans. And I was like, do not cut these off me. And I was like, here, I'll help you pull them down. In the ambulance, like, here you go. Don't be cutting them. That's some damn expensive jeans. Okay. So yeah, there's that. Wild, huh? Hey, sips of coffee. What's up? We haven't taken off yet. So yeah, I did go to a chiropractor, but I need to go back. That I need to do too. Thank you. I'm writing all the. I'm gonna go back and note this stuff. Okay. Thank you for the advice. For sure. So I really don't even know how to go about this subject today, right? I mean, they do pride them, and I say they. By they, I mean Lauren and John pride themselves on, their art. Well, their art is my family's pain, but I mean, that's subjective. I have to like, not, is it subjective or objective? I think I said that wrong. Anyways, but I mean, there's a lot that you, as a family member of victims of violent crime, you have to overlook, right? Because some people's pain is other people's art, okay? And it's their body of work. And you're like, subjective. Thank you. I did say it right then. Okay. Just I second guess myself. So one thing I've had to do since with Lauren and John back in November of 2025. Now, I mean, for my mom, I would say maybe sooner for her because she found out that this was brewing, or I wouldn't say brewing because it's like nobody can foresee that Lauren and John were going to create a stalker, a fake stalker at that, like to try and cover up their misdeeds instead of just confronting and apologizing. The family, me, I mean, maybe they did some. It seems like maybe Megan was I don't know. From what I gathered, I don't know. Again, I wasn't there. But it sounds like Lauren and John, or Lauren mostly, approached some of the people she talked shit about and asked for their forgiveness. I don't know how that went down. I don't know what that even looks like for Lauren. An apology. What does an apology look like for Lauren? Don't know. And I just still am like, I kind of look at Lauren and John like, wow. Kind of like I do with Lori. Like, we're all the way over here now. All this shit has gone down, and it's basically your behavior of trying to cover it up. And it looks really, 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 really fucking gross. That's the really gross part to me. Like, it's like, wow, when all you really had to do was just step A. Yeah. Just go there. Just confront. Say, hey, I'm sorry. I talked shit about you here. You don't have to forgive me, but I just want to offer my genuine apology. And then you move the fuck on, right? Words do matter. Exactly. But again, I find myself just like I did whenever I attended Lori's trial, the first one in Idaho, and I'm looking at her and I'm just like in the courtroom, like, how the fuck did we get here? How are we sitting right here right now? Say something, say anything, besides cuckoo shit. Say what really happened. Say who's really involved. And it's like, how are we here? I don't get it. And it's the covering up and just pretending like nothing happened and just, or that you did the greater good, or I don't know. It's weird. I hope I never turn out like that. Shit. Um, but one of my main things is, let me see, let me pull back here. Okay, I did. It's kind of dark though, so you can't really see very well. Uh, so yeah, why keep this hidden? It's just, it's the hiding part that's really gross to me. That's the gross part. And so this is what today is supposed to be about. Tonight we'll pull back the curtain. Join me for a meticulous. And I mean, this will be an ongoing thing because it has been an ongoing thing for me, having to go back and analyze through the lens of people who have omitted things. Why? And anyways, I don't want to give it all away right now. You pretty much know. I mean, I've not been quiet about it. But join me for a meticulous documented analysis into the professional integrity of Lauren Matthias and John Matthias, I'll add, in hidden true crime. Throughout her career, a clear pattern has emerged: conflicts of interest, purposeful omissions, and selective narrative management designed to protect a polished public persona. Is she actually an investigative journalist, or just a curated performance built on what she chooses to keep in the dark? We will analyze the receipts, the timeline, and the journalistic ethics, or lack thereof, behind the brand. The truth is about to be unearthed. Join us for this live. I'm sorry. Join us live for this raw, unfiltered reveal. Okay. So there's that part. These kind of came out dark, so I do apologize for that. Well, they're not that bad. But I mean, the hidden omissions, curated reality versus independent research, exposing the facts purposely left out since October. No, that needs to change. I need to fix that. Since this case started, since Lauren and John entered the Vallow Daybell case, that's really what it needs to say. Sorry. What really happens when the cameras turn off? Why undisclosed financial and personal ties matter, transparent reporting versus calculated narrative control, holding major media platforms to true accountability. I don't know. I've never done this before. So, the Harrison family ties. This is the biggest thing for me right here are the Tom Harrison family ties to Lauren Johnson Matthias and her brother, the one that passed away, Jameis Johnson. I'm like, whoa, this is huge, especially with the coverage that Lauren has put out there and how this fact seems to be purposely omitted every single time she's doing and I'm doing air quotes back here, expose of Tom Harrison, aka Spencer, aka the person of Visions of Glory, the book behind Chad and Lori Daybell's murder, their beliefs, like dark, light, multiple mortal probations, blah blah blah, portals, all the things. Okay, this is huge to me, and it's like, sometimes looking at the things that are omitted are just as, they're troubling to me as just a flat out lie, because I had to find this, like, what's missing from the equation. It's not what's being put out there, it's what's not being said. Pre-existing personal ties were completely concealed from the audience and family, for me, for sure. Throughout their coverage, Jameis Johnson, Lauren's late brother, and Spencer Harrison, Tom Harrison's son, were close best friends. These deep network connections were never disclosed during commentary or analysis. How does selective transparency impact the illusion of quote unquote unbiased journalism? Right? I don't like it. Then we have the Hildebrandt overlap. Shared professional conferences. John Matthias admitted on camera during a documentary appearance that he attended the exact same professional conferences as Jody Hildebrandt. Years of local awareness. They possessed front row regional awareness of Hildebrandt's local operations and influence for years prior to public coverage. Then you have the St. George regional market. Lauren admitted publicly that Hildebrandt dominated local St. George clientele, making it difficult for John to secure therapy clients in that region, which was weird. Detached expert framing. Despite deep regional context, their platform framed their commentary strictly as detached, outside experts that were just, they were looking in, Oh, nobody saw this one coming, And then the troubled teen industry ties. The Utah TTI business background. John Matthias had prior business involvement in Utah's troubled teen industry, TTI, a fact that was quietly buried from public commentary. Hidden proximity and profiting off public outrage regarding TTI abuses while concealing personal industry history creates an ethical double standard. And then selective moral outrage. This background was omitted while extensively covering high-profile TTI abuse cases such as Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke. Independent industry reaction. Public concerns were flagged by Mindy Caldwell on from the Mormon Stories podcast, highlighting the glaring omission that this really bothered her. It was a comment that she made to me I was thinking we were watching Jolene, if I'm remembering correctly. And, I'm just like, I can't believe she hid Tom Harris. She's like, I can't believe she hid the troubled teen industry. Like, whoa. And I was like, wow, that really is huge. These are huge. To me, maybe not to the gyms. I don't know their priorities. I really don't. It kind of can make you mad trying to understand their priorities even, I don't get it. Then you have the private group chats, public persona versus private conduct, projecting calm and empathy on main feeds while conducting aggressive smear campaigns behind closed doors. Then the coordinated group chats were utilized to target independent researchers, which they're calling me a researcher. Okay, that's basically what they did there. Family members and other professionals, maybe not. Using manufactured crisis narratives and deflections to silence critics and derail legitimate factual scrutiny, like, creating a stalker narrative. The ethical contradiction. Authentic mental health advocacy and investigative ethics cannot coexist with private harassment rings, back channel coordination, and targeted smear campaigns. Accountability and true crime, demanding this decentralized research. Decentralized research, receipts, and public records matter now more than ever to protect victims and maintain integrity in independent media. Preferably don't put them behind a paywall. That's just my advice. And then it says subscribe and share the stream. Full receipt. Oh, well, don't read this. I have not put the full receipts on Substack. I need to get my gear, get into gear and start writing on Substack. I doubt myself. Okay. Just being honest. What is this? Oh yeah. Tom Harrison sits right at the center of this entire network as the common therapist directly connected to Chad Daybell, Julie Rowe, Tim Ballard, David Hamblin, Gordon Bowen, Jody Hildebrandt, not to mention the ties to the brethren of the church. Despite his pivotal role, Lauren and John Matthias have consistently kept critical details and personal connections surrounding him hidden. Following this live stream with Bryce, which we're talking about this one, which, oh my God, it's this one I did with Sacred Secret Society and Esoteric Atlanta, which is Bryce is the blonde. Lorene she's an ex-Mormon. And I went back and watched this over this past week or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, it was a good conversation, and it was after the stuff with Lauren. And I don't know. It was done on Zoom. So I was invited to, via Zoom to do this live with Lorene and Bryce on Esoteric Atlanta. And Bryce had told me, she was like, hey, if you have the link or whatever. And I just never bothered with it. But oh my God, talk about, I think it needs to be streamed here too, and Lorene's channel if she will, more chances of exposure. I just think it was a very good, genuine conversation about all the things to do with the scandal, the hidden true crime scandal, the HR department of the world, the truth behind the LDS Church, the Daybell case, just all the things that I've learned along the way. But anyway, so this is regarding that. So following this live stream with Bryce and Lorene, a trusted eyewitness confirmed that Tom Harrison's son, Spencer Harrison, was actively at the bedside of Lauren's brother, Jameis Jr., during the final week of Jameis's life because the two were longtime best friends. And that was never disclosed by Lauren or John. Throughout Lauren's extensive coverage on Mormon Stories podcast, which focused heavily on Tom Harrison and Visions of Glory, this direct family connection was never disclosed, leaving out a personal relationship Leaving out a personal relationship this deep, get it, creates an immediate conflict of interest that compromises the objectivity of any reporting, removing essential context the audience deserved to know up front. Omitting this relationship distorts the public timeline and view of how these fringe ideas spread, enables narrative gatekeeping, and shields surrounding practitioners and institutions from accountability. Yeah. Right? That's what they do. Okay. Most importantly, it denies the public and the victims' families the full, transparent truth that we deserve. Why, Lauren? Why? Right? Anyways, I had uploaded some slides if you can't tell. So I don't know if y'all have anything right now. Visions of Glory, right? I agree, Maury. Mindy and John Dehlin made a safe and comfortable space for Lauren to tell ridiculous lies for hours and hours, which makes her very much more available for fact checking. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yes. Talk about, because I've been gathering the links too about, with all these different instances, lots of opportunities to, like you said, fact check. Okay, getting back over here. Let's see what this is. Oh, here's McGriff Loop. You got the case tragedy up there, which is family grief. Then you have content creation, information hijack. Then you have audience growth down here, parasocial intimacy, revenue generation, which is profit extraction for the content creator, right? They hijack the tragedy. Smoke them if you got them. And take a drink. Okay. And then we have this one too, Lawfare in the True Crime Ecosystem, a case study in the weaponization of copyright and civil injunctions. There's the docket NCCB copyright board, copyright complaint board. I'm saying board. Lawfare is the weaponization of legal systems and processes, the use of litigations such as copyright claims, civil injunctions, and police reports, not to seek justice, but to drain resources, intimidate, and silence criticism from opponents. Quote, it's about using courtrooms to silence anyone who speaks out against you, unquote. That's from Rabbit from the Closet, content creator on YouTube. Let's see. I hope Megan's paying attention. I doubt it, though. it really sucks when they purposely mischaracterize everything that I say. You know, it's like, why even try? You're just going to mischaracterize it anyways, and then claim to be victim. It's weird. Weird. Weaponizing copyright, the CCB loophole. So on the left, it says CCB, and then on the right, it says federal court. Legal representation, there's none required. You can go pro se, is allowed in the CCB. The cost to file, so Lauren paid $40 initial fee to sue me, okay? The monetary limits, though, are $5,000, small claims track, and $30,000 max. And then the tactic is used to cheaply strike down commentary and criticism. And then the federal court, if you go that route, then it requires specialized IP attorneys at $500 an hour, thousands in filing and retainer fees, up to 150 thousand per up to 150,000 per infringement used for massive legitimate IP theft. None of that was done here. Anatomy of a weaponized claim, right? So number one, it says claim description, which was, okay, Larry Woodcock breaks down over J.J. Vallow's murder. Of course he does, okay? She's going to capture that, though, right? She's going to exploit that part. The irony. Lauren sued Crusha she sued me over video titled Larry Woodcock Breaks Down Over J.J. Vallow's Murder. Crusha is Kay Woodcock's daughter, reacting to her own family's trauma. The number two, she said that I was spouting harmful and false narratives about hidden true crime. Okay. The motive. Lauren claims Crusha was, quote, spouting harmful and false narratives about hidden true crime. Unquote. Copyright law does not govern false narratives. Defamation law does. And then the goal, number three down here, Lauren demands the streams, quote, not be posted on the internet again, unquote. The objective is erasure, not financial compensation. And then we know that by default, they basically kicked her claim out. But she could refile it again if she can produce the receipts. Anyways. One creator, multiple legal avenues, a coordinated effort to manage public relations through legal intimidation. Crusha and Sleuthy Goosey, right? She struck both of us. She struck Joe Schmo too, but whatever. And then over here to the right, you have civil stalking injunction, Christina. And then Lauren is aligned with Trisha, Yep. The 512F counterstrike. Fair use is commentary, criticism, and educational transformation are protected under fair use. Crusha, which is me, and Sleuthy Goosey provided commentary over Lauren's footage, a standard protected practice. It was never meant to abuse or steal like I was accused of doing by Lauren. Okay, I was accused of trying to steal hidden true crime content, which was photos and videos she scraped off the internet of my family. Okay. Section 512, misrepresentation, right? The CCB allows targets to file counterclaims for damages if a creator knowingly misrepresents commentary as copyright infringement. Quote, if you took my material down because you claimed it was infringing and it wasn't, I might be able to get a claim for damages against you. David, a CCB official. Okay. Oh, it's going way too fast. I hate it. Always misspells Janice and Lindsay's names and Trisha's. So this is the Boise incident, July 23rd, 2025. Step one, the press conference. Lauren approaches Janice and Lindsay regarding seats, despite having sent them cease and desist letters, basically at the Kohlberger sentencing, right? And in step two, the restaurant, Janice and Lindsay go to dinner. Lauren and producer Grayson arrive later, positioning themselves near the exit. Step three, the police call. Lauren calls the police requesting an escort and alleging stalking by the group. The alibi. Christina M., the primary target of the later stalking injunction, wasn't even in Idaho. She was in Europe. Make that make sense. From gossip to injunctions. Lauren to Christina, quote, I am already getting calls about things I said to you in confidence, and I feel threatened. I felt threatened. I will have to take legal action if it continues, unquote. Christina responded, quote, hitting block after starting a fire doesn't make you a victim. It makes you a coward, unquote. Oh my God, right? This girl, look, I'm slow on the uptake here. Look. Okay. It's right there on the same damn thing I'm on. After falling out over Reddit rumors and leaked private conversations, the conflict moved from text messages to the Utah court system. And then from gossip to injunctions. Then all that just to dismiss the case, right? After trying to make a plea with Christina to remove everything, to not post on the internet again, basically. Interesting. The cost of contempt. Lauren's attorneys requested Christina be held in contempt, demanding a $6,000 fine and 30 days in jail. But that's not what John said. John was like, hey, 5 years per charge. And he was, 10 charges he was trying to do or something for mouthing the words, don't lie on me in a TikTok video and lip syncing to Eminem's Worms. I'm going to make you eat your words. Standing in the same hotel bar as Lauren at a true crime convention. And she was there before Lauren. Then the court's pushback. I love this judge. Never thought I'd say I love a Utah judge, but I do. Quote, TikTok videos constitute free speech, not stalking. The judge explicitly told Lauren's attorney that the court would not be used to silence Christina. The judge removed the ban on them sharing professional spaces. Faced with a judge hostile to the abuse of the stalking statute, Lauren voluntarily dismissed her own injunction on October 15th. Wall and Quine. Yeah, this is another one. Birds of a feather flock together, don't they? A systemic tactic. Lauren Matthias is not the only creator relying on legal intimidation. Trisha from Web Sleuths, an HTC ally, similarly leveraged threats of defamation lawsuits against Kresha and my mom, basically, over internet rumors regarding donations to JJ's school. She mischaracterized that. When characters lack PR control, the default community response has become threatening litigation to force critics into submission. And they cry victim. Wah! They do. Then the Streisand effect. I didn't know what the Streisand effect was. I also wanted to know why Lauren was starting to look like Barbara Streisand over the whole thing, right? I was like, what the hell? Why is she looking like Barbara Streisand? Not there so much, but you know what I'm saying. You know the look. Lauren hosted a 9-hour live stream attempting to control the narrative of the dismissed injunction, complaining about courtroom cameras. The result, the live stream acted as a beacon. It drove other creators to pull the public Utah court dockets, right? Request the Boise PD body cam footage and access the court audio, permanently entering the creator's behavior into the public record. The cover-up became the content. The true cost of digital lawfare. The justice system is designed to protect physical safety and intellectual property. When creators clog the courts with CCB claims over bruised egos and demand jail time for lip syncing on TikTok, they don't just abuse their critics, they mock the very systems real victims rely on to survive. The same one my Uncle Charles went to get a protective order against Lori. You know? Ugh, that bothers me. I think I pulled this one from a whole nother set. But this is the collapse. October 15th and 16th, 2025, 9-hour live. The public trial, October 15th, the day before the scheduled evidentiary hearing that Lauren ended up canceling, before Judge Wright. Isn't that a perfect name, Judge Wright? Lauren hosts a monumental 9-hour live stream. She publicly discusses the case details and the specific women she has accused of stalking her. October 16th, the legal retreat. The evidentiary hearing is abruptly canceled. Lauren backs out. All pending motions, the contempt enforcement, the media objection, and the default entry of the weakened CSI are left in limbo, out there for public debate and content forever, right? The lawfare diagnostic. Copyright and injunctions are to the left, and then it says legitimate legal protection for copyright, protecting against actual IP theft and financial piracy. Then it says litigation, abuse, lawfare for the copyright, issuing copyright CCB strikes to remove critical commentary and manage personal PR. And then lawfare diagnostic for injunctions. The legitimate legal protection is protecting against physical danger, proximity threats, and true stalking. Okay. To me, Lauren made a mockery out of actual stalking victims. It's really gross. It is. It's sad. And then litigation, abuse, lawfare for the injunction, weaponizing police escorts and court dockets to punish interpersonal conflicts and silence online detractors is what happened. Lauren's, okay, this is the epilogue of the Mr. Breakfast C&D, October through November 2025. Lauren's reversal, October 17th. Lauren emails her suspected hacker, Mr. Breakfast, bizarrely claiming, quote, I had no recollection of bringing you up. The police have not called you? Or the police have not called you. Sorry, that's not a question. Unquote. The C&D, October 31st. 2 weeks later, Lauren's counsel sends him a massive C&D citing Florida wiretapping law and federal cyber harassment statutes demanding metadata preservation. The Randazza, I think that's how you say it, response, November 17th, Mark J. Randazza responds on behalf of Mr. Breakfast with a, quote, notice of noncompliance. He mocks the interpretation of Florida law, noting AI-generated messages cannot be intercepted. The final word, quote, we don't know what you're talking about. My client is not going to comply with your letter in any way, shape, or form, unquote. And this is the pre-Fallout Network, 2023 to early 2025. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to orient myself. On to the left, you have Grayson, John, Susan Hendricks, Tom Evans, Lauren, people like that. CrimeCon 2024 Nashville. Annotation box 2 joined Lauren full-time in October 2024, befriended Christina. Talking about Grayson, I guess. Annotation box 3, Christina, right here, met Lauren in April 2023. I don't know. Met Christina in January 2025. And then down here it says Janice and Lori D, Dental Lori, drawn into the orbit via the Lori Daybell trial in CrimeCon 2024. I don't know. And that's where that ends. But anyways. And this is another thing that's hidden that Christina deserves full credit for. Okay. Because they mocked her and joked about the just the shit behind what a PhD is. Okay. Again, not everybody has had to verse themselves in this, including myself. Okay. I'm like, okay, I never questioned it. Never had to examine these things. But the fabricated credentials, the claim, husband is a criminal, forensic, and clinical psychologist. UNLV professor. The receipts say he holds a PhD in philosophy and a master's in marriage and family counseling. He does not hold a doctorate in psychology. Debunked. He has been an adjunct professor at UNLV since 2007. UNLV over here, Debunked. It says a direct phone call to UNLV confirmed they have zero records of him ever working there. Okay. Then back over here to the left, he is qualified to supervise PhD students doing their thesis projects. A philosophy PhD cannot legally or ethically supervise clinical psychology doctorates. Now, I don't know. I'm not a damn doctor. I don't hold a PhD. I don't even understand the basic concept. Okay. Just being real with you. I mean, it doesn't make it, I don't think it makes me dumb. It just makes me not versed in this area, you know? And I don't think that she deserved to be mocked. I don't think anybody does. I think I skipped a few down here. Maybe not. No, I didn't. Okay. Thought I did. And then up here it says a family network of professional misconduct. Okay. The ex-friend is the instigator, right? I'm assuming this is Christina. This is Lauren's ex-friend, the instigator, her alleged instigator. Then you have the brother, a licensed attorney in Utah, sent out-of-state cease and desist letters, right? Based on false premises, a major ethical violation and potentially disbarment worthy. Then you have the father, employed by the brother's law firm, despite being completely disbarred and stripped of his license in the state of Utah. The firm scandal. The brothers' law firm was recently hit with a scandal involving a convicted felon filing legal documents under another man's license number. Wasn't the man dead? If I'm remembering correctly. Law and crime. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. Right. Okay. I think that's all of the slides I have. So, bing bong, we're done. Let's see. Let me pull this one down. Can't take it. All right. Now I'm back to read your chat. I know I love the slides. Okay. I do. I'm guilty. I do. Okay. My fan is blowing my hair and it's tickling my face. I can't stand that. Okay. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me pull this up and see if it's crap. Nope. Audio. Let me pull this up. Allegedly.
Just an object reflecting reality back to you.
I don't think I'm in the right one. Hold on. I'm not in the right one. I need to be over here. My bad. Now, I've made these, but I haven't listened to them yet. So, but this is examining the Lori and Chad Daybell case through, but actually examining Lauren and John's perspective on the case. Okay, basically. Hopefully it reflects that. Let's see. Let's see if it does.
How does a suburban mother go from, grinding her own wheat for sensible emergency preparedness to believing her children are literal zombies who need to be eliminated?
It's one of the most disturbing psychological shifts you can imagine.
It really is. And today we're looking at the exact mechanisms of that terrifying shift. We are opening up a massive stack of source material for this deep dive.
We really are. There's so much to go through.
Yeah, we have the FBI's cellular analysis data, thousands of pages of police interview transcripts. We've got private emails from former insiders and these really deep psychiatric evaluations surrounding the tragic case of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell.
And our mission for this deep dive isn't to just, rehash the sensational headlines or all the courtroom drama that everyone's already seen.
Right. Yeah.
We want to extract the psychological architecture of this case. Like, how exactly does a group of otherwise functional adults transition from standard everyday faith into this violent vortex of fringe delusions, echo chambers, and ultimately murder.
So what does this all mean? We're going to map out the anatomy of extreme denial and really zero in on the incredibly dangerous allure of feeling uniquely special.
Did they?
Because, I mean, this didn't start with murder. It started with something entirely culturally acceptable.
It did. It completely did. And to understand the psychology here, we really have to look at the environment where these ideas first took root.
Right.
It was a prepper community called AVOW, which stands for Another Voice of Warning.
AVOW.
And we had this fascinating interview from a former AVOE insider named Anna. She spent 8 years deeply involved in this group. And she makes a crucial point, which is that the entry into this world was completely innocuous.
Right. She talks about buying extra wheat, getting those heavy duty tents, and just focusing on spiritual preparedness.
Exactly.
Which, let's be clear, in their broader cultural context is entirely normal. I mean, being prepared for natural disasters or emergencies is universally encouraged. It's responsible.
Oh, absolutely. It's seen as a virtue. But Anna details how the focus of this preparedness began to shift pretty dramatically toward the fringe with the rise of figures like Julie Rowe and Chad Daybell.
Yeah, the shift is wild because Julie started publishing these books about near-death experiences, right?
Right.
And she was prophesying about a call out. The narrative was that these white trucks are going to suddenly appear like out of nowhere to take the most righteous preppers to hidden mountain camps.
Yeah, to survive an imminent apocalyptic collapse.
Wow.
And then, you have Chad Daybell entering the picture. He had been this struggling author writing standard fiction books about the end of the world for this very specific niche audience.
But then he completely changes his narrative.
He does. According to a story told later by his own son, Chad suddenly claimed that his previously published fiction books weren't fiction at all.
That's just, I mean, that's such a massive leap.
It is. He started telling people, these are actual literal visions that I have personally experienced.
And that pivot was incredibly lucrative for him. I mean, Chad's son recalled that the family went from struggling financially to suddenly having plenty of money simply because people in this subculture started buying these books by the thousands.
Yeah.
And so keep that in mind. Put a pin in that. And did I share? Am I sharing this? Okay, I am. And so I found this the other day and I listened to it. And I mean, this was September 8th, 2015. This is 4 years before anybody knew Chad and Lori Daybell, period, ever. Before my family experienced loss. Before the victims experienced what they experienced. Oh my gosh. So let me click over here. Oh, shit. Accidentally. I get button happy. Okay. I do. So, I mean, this is September 8th, 2015, episode 565, Julie Rowe, her near-death experience, the Mormon prepper movement, and prophecies of global disaster in September of 2015. Julie Rowe is an active, believing Mormon and is the author of 2 books, A Greater Tomorrow, My Journey Beyond the Veil, which Chad published, and The Time Is Now, which Chad published. In these books, Julie details her near-death experiences, wherein she claims to have received divinely inspired visions of the past, present, and future. Just know that by this time, she is already said to also be influenced by Visions of Glory, Tom Harrison. And I mean, okay, this makes me have to pull this up now. Shit. I wasn't ready for this, but I should have been. Wait. It's hard typing with a numb finger. Okay. Okay, let me pull this up real quick. Hang tight, hang tight. I think it's this one. Who knows?
150 people approximately at this fireside.
Okay.
So this was right before John Pontius died.
Right.
They're all just such experts. Anyways, let me get down here. Oh, I forget. This one don't have a transcript because... Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. But let's see. What I'm looking for is... Tom Harrison is predicting the couple truths. Okay, translated beings do not have children. Portals among us, don't you know? Portals are freaking among us. spirits possessing a body as it views porn, spirits possessing you when you sin, evil spirits becoming aggressive and possessing bodies. The spirits entered a rip in his spirit. Bar scenes. Joseph Smith Jr. at the conference, right? Reading Tom's entire letter. So this is, I mean, these are so many places where Lauren failed to admit that her brother is best friends with Tom's son.
Sources that I have. You
Here we go.
mentioned we've seen Tim Ballard, we've seen Jody on that banner. There's no Chad Daybell, but I do need to say this comes from 3 very concrete sources that I have. That on the Daybell side, we have 2 very concrete sources letting me know that Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe were meeting with Tom Harrison in his office. And then I have on the Harrison side, someone that knows Tom Harrison saying,
Who, your brother?
Tom was meeting with Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe in his office. And so though I want to point that out too, while they don't show up on the banner, it's more than just seeing the book. I had been hearing of these meetings. So I want to put that out there because 2019 is a really important year. And I do know that it wasn't just that Chad and Chad liked his book. He was meeting, according to 3 very concrete sources, he was meeting with Tom Harrison as well. Chad also.
Super important.
One more time.
Okay.
Okay, now
This
hold on.
next,
Okay. Let's see. This book is harmful and his ideas attributed to death. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's do this one.
Yeah, it was nice. So I drove up to Boise a few times over the course of Lori's trial. And Lauren and I, during the trial, we had, we found a little spot in the courtroom that we liked. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we were quite close to the jury box. And so we had to be really, really quiet about when we would try to communicate or talk to each other. But they showed a video clip from Lori getting arrested, or excuse me, not arrested, getting served papers in Hawaii. They had found Lori and Chad in Hawaii, and they had police cell phone footage of her being approached at poolside in Hawaii. And we had never seen this video.
Yeah.
Nobody had seen this video before.
It was to serve. They served her papers saying that she needed to produce her children before her arrest. Yeah.
Right. And so this was the first time viewing for everybody who had followed this case. So, of course we were in rapt attention, kind of watching this, and we're looking at the video, and then all of a sudden, Lauren,
should we show it? Should we show
let me
it?
just let me tell you really fast. So, Lauren just elbows me and she's like, Mindy, Visions of Glory. She's reading Visions of Glory by the pool. And sure enough, Visions of Glory is right there on her chaise lounge in full display.
I was live tweeting too. So I was live tweeting the entire trial at Hidden True Crime. And so I was, everyone else is talking about her swimsuit color or, how Chad looked like he didn't know what the heck was going on. And I was like, it's Visions of Glory. We've talked about visions. This is Visions of Glory.
Right.
Yeah. It was this moment of like, see, this is what they're doing.
Yeah. And just to really put a fine point on it, Lori's 2 children are dead.
Yes.
Chad's wife is dead. Lori's at least 1 to 2 ex-husbands are dead. Her brother's dead. There's this streak of carnage. They've gone to Hawaii to do who knows what. And the crucial text that they have on their, what's the word you called on the swim chair?
Chaise
lounge. Chaise lounge is Visions of Glory. It's right there in the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, right. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. I opened some things. And I gotta. Okay. Well, let me share this too, because it's basically telling you what this video is about.
Visions of Glory and Tom Harrison, EP 1825, from the Mormon Stories podcast. It's the deep dive panel that features Lauren Matthias and Megan Connor. deconstructing the exact spiritual blueprints you're identifying. Regarding the corporate octopus, you've correctly identified the Papa Company and its various arms that link this true crime content to global policy and forensic infrastructure. Here is the breakdown. The Othram/Middleman octopus. Othram Inc., the central
This is my AI's crazy
forensic
tentacles.
genetic powerhouse. Web Sleuths TCN LLC, the media arm where Trisha serves as manager after the 2023 acquisition. DNA Solves, the data harvesting and crowdfunding arm. Tree of Hope Foundation, the nonprofit sister arm used for cold case funding. World Justice Project/World.
Yeah, I don't know about that part. So this bothers me too. The Vericol
Resource Allocation System, a massive
let me back
often
up.
refers to the Veterans Equitable Resource, has participated in international rule of
So
law
just-
discussions.
I don't know about
Justice
this.
for All Speakers LLC, Trisha's original business used for speaking and policy bridge building. VERA often refers to the Veterans Equitable Resource Allocation System, a massive VA data tool for tracking millions of veterans. This aligns with Dr. John Matthias's claims of veteran-focused forensic work. ExxonMobil, Janet Wolford, Beth B., was a highlight.
Anyways, I thought I pulled. I mean, there's me in Boise on a live stream. I cried too. I cried my ass off. But I'm holding up the book, Visions of Glory. You know, like it's everywhere. Okay, it's everywhere. Here it is again. It was obtained. That's Nate Eaton. These are the contents that came out of this whenever Lori was arrested. After not turning the kids over to Idaho authorities within 5 days of being served. Visions of Glory book. Now I'm looking for where else? Because I mean, it's found multiple times in the investigation, in the FOIA docs. Throughout. I thought it'd be a lot easier than this. Oh, this is something. Visions of Glory 5-year anniversary. Astral projection. Case studies. Visions. Case studies. Eschatology. 4. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Doctrines. 5. Mormon Church doctrines. Title. Okay. I mean, I'm just like, what the hell? Spencer's unique medical background. He's a therapist. Was by far the most, and this is Ken Krogh, by the way. This is Ken Krogh signing off on the, what do you call it? On the cover. What readers are saying about Visions. Spencer's unique medical background was by far the most helpful in bringing me out of my challenges I was facing. He is a great man trying to do good in the world, and he has done a lot for me. Ken Krogh, founder and president, InsideSales.com. I don't, yeah. And then I'm like, confirmed. Astral projection study. Hello. These are what Lori considered to be her gifts. This is where her and Chad were meeting in the closet and shit. Okay. Portaling. It's crazy. Tom Harrison, you can't get through this case without Tom Harrison. Somebody right here, Visions of Glory opinion in Mormon, Reddit. Following the Chad Daybell trial got me wondering about the book Visions of Glory that seems to be the foundational text for this apocalyptic faction in our church. Deseret Book doesn't sell it anymore, okay? But I heard it continues to be the best-selling book in Utah. Over the years, I've, 8th generation Mormon, heard a lot about deep lore mythology and unofficial yet widely circulated beliefs in our church on the more magical side of things. I don't go for that stuff, but I've heard about it and know where it comes from. I personally feel the church is making a huge mistake by not straight up condemning this whole way of thinking and shutting it down. Chad Daybell was only emboldened to do increasingly bad things when nobody opposed his exploitation of this kind of thinking. I feel Mormons are culturally vulnerable to be taken in by charismatic individuals claiming special powers. I'm curious now if secretly in wards throughout the church, if there are considerable amounts of people who believe in the book Visions of Glory. Do you believe in it? Do you know people who do? Do you reject it or feel neutral? I mean, these are things that I've picked up, on the internet. and have been writing about, let's see. Oh, Tommy boy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me just cut in here. Because I don't know, it's just kind of, okay, there's also a strong belief in personal revelations, talking about visions of glory and visionary experiences as valid sources of insight and guidance. The alleged reliance on psychic readings by Janet Russin with OUR indicates an interest in alternative spiritual practices. Furthermore, there appears to be an overlap with nationalistic ideologies. Particularly the concept of an American covenant, which is written by Tim Ballard and then rewritten and or reconfigured by M. Russell Ballard, the damn apostle, as evidenced by the Mission of Liberty 89, which Tom Harrison sits on the board of, by the way. These shared beliefs create a sense of community and shared purpose among individuals and organizations within the network. Is Lauren within the network? Is one of my questions, basically. Potentially reinforcing their interpretations of scripture and current events. The potential impact within the Mormon community. The interconnectedness of these individuals and organizations and the beliefs they espouse have the potential for several impacts within the broader Mormon community. There is a risk that some members may be drawn away from the official church doctrine and teachings by the detailed and compelling narratives presented in books like Visions of Glory and the interpretations promoted by various figures in this network. The tragic case of Lori Vallow Daybell illustrates the potential for misinterpreting prophecy and engaging in extreme behaviors. If unofficial accounts and personal interpretations are given equal or greater weight than the teachings of living prophets and apostles, it could lead to an erosion of trust in established church leadership. Moreover, the association of some individuals within this network with controversies and allegations could potentially damage the reputation of the church in the eyes of both members and the wider public. The church's efforts to distance itself from certain individuals indicate an awareness of these potential negative impacts. Conclusion. This report has detailed the complex network of individuals and organizations connected to the book Visions of Glory and its influence within the Mormon community. Tom Harrison, as the purported visionary behind the book, appears to be a central figure, linking to individuals like Ken Krogh through Eternal Core and Jody Hildebrandt, and having past involvement with Preparing a People, run by Mike and Nancy James. Tim Ballard, despite facing significant controversies, remains a key figure through his founding of OUR and Liberty 89, with alleged connections to Harrison and Janet Russin. Rod Meldrum, further, there was a text exchange between Lauren and Rod and some of the leaked text messages, that she was trying to prevent from coming out. He wasn't very appreciative of her. Okay, so Rod Meldrum further connects this network to end times beliefs and Book of Mormon evidence communities. The case of Lori Vallow Daybell tragically highlights the potential for extreme interpretations of apocalyptic beliefs, possibly influenced by sources like Visions of Glory. While the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has taken steps to distance itself from certain controversial individuals and emphasize adherence to official doctrine, the enduring popularity of Visions of Glory and the interconnectedness of this network suggests an ongoing area of influence within the Mormon community. Understanding these connections and the associated beliefs is crucial for analyzing their potential impact and for individuals seeking to navigate the diverse landscape of religious thought and interpretation. Oh my gosh, that's a lot to read. And then here they are, poolside, This is just a couple bullet points for Tom, about Tom. Tom Harrison, Visions of Glory, published in 2012. He's a lifelong member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was an ordinance worker in the temple in 2012. He has served in bishoprics. He has served in high councils. He has held stake positions. He has held many other church callings. He served general advisory board member for the church, holding 3 advanced degrees, professional counselor for children. And I'm telling you, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is, but I know it's somewhere. I feel it in my gut. This is just my gut instinct saying, how can he not know John? You know, John's bitching about Jody. Jody knows Tom. Lauren knows Tom. Everybody fucking knows Tom. John is in that field, like legitimately, and he don't know Tom? Weird. I do. I really do. How'd you know? Can you hear it? Let me drink. Yeah, I'm not either, Aussie Cheryl, but they are. They are really just, gotta watch out. That's the thing though. What I've learned is it doesn't matter what you and I believe, straight up. It matters what they believe. And if they believe in Satan and they practice Satanism, they're doing things that aren't on the up and up. When you end up with dead children and voices telling you to do bad things, Chad Daybell had a voice, remember? Then something ain't right. It's not of anything good, So it's what they believe in. It doesn't matter what we believe in. I know. I know. I feel you. Hey, right? Whenever I experienced my trauma too, I felt like that. I felt very vulnerable. Sprite. And for children. Right, Miss Mojo? I know. Bothers me. It bothers me a great deal. So, these are just my collection of apparently I forget who said this. Okay, the bottom line with all of these criminals, visions of glory gave them the permission and validation that God sent them revelations, which means that their crimes were justified. That's scary thought right there. Thank you, baby. My baby just brought me some cookie cake. Like I need some. Thank you. I don't know what this is. I think this is early on with AI trying to help me dialogue here. In the quiet corners of our bustling cities, in the serene stretches of untouched wilderness, and even in the most mundane places, I don't want to read that. It's silly. Oh yeah, this is Christopher Blythe. Still, there are some notable examples of visionary Latter-day Saints who have published apocalypses even in recent history. A couple discussed in the interview included John Pontius and Julie Rowe. Pontius published a book in 2012 entitled Visions of Glory, which is Tom Harrison's book. He got a ghostwriter. So it led him to be undetected, unknown, hidden, in the shadows for quite some time. In which he tells the story of a man he refers to as Spencer. And it just so happens Spencer Harrison is the name of his son, who's best friends with Jameis before he died. An anonymous Latter-day Saint visionary from Salt Lake City, as summarized by Blythe. Blythe stated that he suspects that Visions of Glory is the best-selling Latter-day Saint apocalyptic text of the past 100 years. No other modern apocalypse has drawn as much attention. Part of the reason for that success seems to be due to the fact that visions are generally presented in ways that, quote, support the established rules on sharing revelatory experiences in the church, unquote, specifically as personal messages to an anonymous individual. Blythe gave Visions of Glory more weight and Julie Rowe less weight. He was just like, well, yeah. Because Tom wasn't trying to be, how do you put it? Something along the lines of Tom Harrison, aka Spencer, wasn't trying to do it for fame or clout. No, he was doing it under a pseudonym. As a shady subject. Back there just pulling strings, in my opinion. Julie Rowe was at least Julie Rowe. We could see it for who she was. Another thing, Tom Harrison spoke at Preparing People conferences. Sherston Stockwell and Tom in Tim Ballard's some investigation into Tim Ballard and OUR, the authorities, I want to say the 3-letter agency talked to Sherston Stockwell, reported that she was in attendance at Thanksgiving Point, Utah, in her full OUR work capacity with others named Tom Harrison, Tim Ballard, Ken Krogh, and Hugh Vale. Yep. Where they talked about second coming. These aren't normal. This is not normal. Okay. Like, have you ever, oh my God, I don't get it. I do not get it. Why this is so passed off as just normal. This is not normal. Oh yeah, I need to go over that another time. It's interesting to note that the apologetic site Fair Mormon began sounding alarm bells about visions of glory as early as May 2013. It's crazy. Yeah. Chad claimed he could move through portals, an idea taught by Thomas G. Harrison, aka Spencer, from Visions of Glory. They both believed in multiple mortal probations as taught by Julie Rowe. And it's just from a post, okay? It's wild. Oh, and then I've looked up all the stuff in not Curtin McConkie, Bruce R. McConkie's Mormon Doctrine book. Okay. This is a holy order. This is a freaking secret society. Okay. I'm just to save us some breath here. Okay. Because that's what this is. Little children are holy, being sanctified through the atonement of Jesus Christ. But they teach also that the atonement's not good enough. Okay. The baptism of fire. Feel the fire. Melanie Gibbs' book. Anyways, I'm just starting to kind of connect things. So I don't expect y'all to follow me along in that crap. But back to here.
Bottom right, for those who are watching, should we play the video clip?
Yes.
Sure. All right,
Play the video clip.
And
This is what we were watching.
And I apologize to those listening. You know, some of this is just visual, not audible. But let's play the clip.
This is all you can serve.
You have any questions regarding that? Of hiding in the cavity of a rock.
So it is 14:39 hours on
McConkie Mormon.
January
That's good.
25th.
Never heard that one. Eric Smith, yeah, he's interesting.
What is that ringtone?
So Chad's kind of leaning over.
Yeah.
Kind of acting like, what's this?
I know. I love, and they're so just shocked. Like, wait, we have to produce the kids?
That wasn't part of the plan.
And there's the book right under her right knee.
Yeah.
Right. Being read.
Yeah.
She set it down.
You need something?
Any questions? You have any questions for that? No? Okay. All right. Have a nice day.
So, I mean, they can't be thinking that they're just going to get away with all this. They have to be thinking that somehow God's going to intervene, right? Because they've literally...
Because that's the keep on with that thought, John DeLynn, because that's exactly what Lori thinks. Okay. She thinks that this is from Rob Wood to Summer Shiflett. He said, your sister thinks that what she's done in righteousness. Okay. And I think we have seen that exhibited in all the interviews provided by Colby and others, you know, who have interviewed Lori. I mean, and my friend Jen, okay, she used to tell me that, and I mean, she was an ex-Mormon. She is an ex-Mormon. And she said, it's like she pictures Lori waiting on the crack in the prison walls, okay, to let her out. This is not a new belief. This is just the belief or beliefs collectively that people like Tom Harrison preach and teach. I don't know, specifically where this specific one goes in Mormon doctrine, but you can find these, you can connect them. I've done it. I'm like, I mean, it is Mormon belief, it's like, it is. It's not outside of Mormon belief. Not that I found, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird because it's like when one of them goes astray or somebody goes astray, then they're like, all the believing Mormons are like, they're not like us. They're not like us, but they are. They are. And you're in denial. And I mean, it really sucks because I'm dealing with a bunch of people who are in denial or scared to embrace the fact that, oh my God, this shit happens and has happened so many times that, oh my God, we're a church known for so many fractured, fringe groups. I've never, it's crazy. And I mean, I say that loosely. I don't mean that crazy. Just it is. It's out there. And it's like, how many times does this have to happen for you to wake up and see that this is no different, that JJ and Tylee were the lambs that you were supposed to protect, but they are just another example of the lambs that get thrown out there to the slaughter. Okay. And they do this in multiple different ways, hiding sexual abuse over and over and over and over again. It's old now. I mean, gigs up. Stop.
Literally left a trail of death,
in my opinion.
And why would they have visions of glory literally under the knee open that they're studying it? We're going to be answering that question today in part 1. And then the only other thing I think is worth talking about, let's just maybe, and we want to bring Megan, we want to bring you in here as well, but it didn't just stop with Lori and Chad. So recently when the Jody Hildebrandt 8 Passengers story becomes global news, and then later when the Tim Ballard lawsuits start to fly,
yes,
what happens? What do we learn?
There's a connection to
a connection without an X.
Tom Harrison and Visions of Glory.
There's a connection.
Yeah,
without an X.
A connection, a good old fashioned connection without an X in it, like Jody Hildebrandt's connections. You could. So all of a sudden, Jody Hildebrandt comes down and she's connected to Eternal Core. And Eternal Core is something that was created by therapist Tom Harrison to bring God back into therapy. He starts Eternal Core. It's a podcast, it's a conference, and who's involved? Jody Hildebrandt.
And I'm just going to go ahead and show that image of the Eternal Core conference. Who's in the middle of the entire graphic image, Megan? Who is that?
Good old Tom Harrison.
There's Tom Harrison and Mindy, who's two headshots to the right of Tom Harrison, Mindy Caldwell.
That is Jody Hildebrandt.
Jody Hildebrandt. And who is on the literal right hand of Tom Harrison from his perspective?
I don't know what it is, but I don't like the tone here. And I mean, call me sensitive. I'll take it. I understand. I am particularly sensitive because it seems like they're not taking it seriously. It's fucking serious, bruh.
Perspective, Lauren?
Tim Ballard,
right? And is Maurice Harker, by the way,
his photo is not on
his photo's not
he
on
did
that
participate in that Eternal Core conference, but his photo for some reason was not on that picture.
Yes. And Eternal Core was really only sort of a big present thing in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's when, he was with Maurice Harker, Tim Ballard. We'll get into Maurice later, I'm sure. And Jody Hildebrandt. And then, of course, we don't see Chad or Lori there, but we already have that history.
Yeah.
Them believing this book.
And really quickly, we're going to jump into the Tim Ballard lawsuit and show a couple other intro slides before we begin. But Megan, I want to bring you in. Can you just tell us your first recollections of vision? Anything you want to say as an intro, but your first recollections of Visions of Glory and how the wheels and dots started connecting for you in these stories and Visions of Glory. And
everybody don't fall asleep. Okay. It's just melatonin, Megan.
Yeah, well, so I was very fortunate to appear on Lauren's channel actually before I came and did my Mormon Stories interview. And she and I kept in touch quite a bit because the more layers got unpeeled from this onion, we just both kind of wanted to understand what was happening. So we kept in touch about new developments in the case. And I think she brought it up to me at one point about this video that you guys had seen at the trial and that Visions of Glory was there. And I just sort of had this distant bell ring in my head, and it took me a little while before I remembered this, but I was presented with a copy of Visions of
I really don't believe the story now, Megan. I can't. Only because all the other things are fucking lies. So I have sorry, I'm gonna try not to cuss. I have a really hard time now with what falls out of this woman's mouth.
Glory back in 2014. And for me, this was pre-therapy. I was still very enmeshed in my family system. It was pre-religious deconstruction, so I was a very faithful member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I had been teaching gospel doctrine in my ward. And after the lesson that we had that was about the second coming, one of the people in my ward came up to me and told me that there was a book she really wanted me to read. She said, I loved your lesson. I thought you did a great job, but I think you kind of maybe left some things out. And at the time I was very much a rule follower in the way that I presented things as a gospel doctrine teacher. And this is what kept me in the church so long, because I only read the approved correlated materials. And I only presented in the lessons what was in the manual. And I
really have a hard time with that. But Donna, to just drive home your point, I wanted to do my Mormon story. How about you, Kresha? Well, according to a source, that was stopped by Lauren for me. Like, there was interest there, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not a Mormon, but anyways, Lauren was sure to stamp that out. Allegedly. I don't know. According to the source. Yeah, there you go. Lauren shifts the blame from Tom to Jody. Expertly done. I mean, she is skilled as long as it's not her own family. That's how you pivot off a narrative to throw shade in another direction. I can't get to my applause button fast enough. Okay. But yeah, true. Straight up.
I knew I had some kooks in my ward. And every time we got on the subject of end times, that, people would raise their hand and talk about things like knowing the actual location of Kolob and stuff like that. So I did not want to stray
There's
at
always
all.
a few in every ward.
Yes, exactly. I didn't want to stray too far from exactly what was in the manual. And so I guarantee you, we didn't talk about anything, Mormon rumors or any of that kind of stuff. So this person actually approached me.
Okay. First off, just with what she said right there, hold on. Where she said, so I guarantee you, we didn't talk about anything.
Mormon rumors or any of that kind of stuff.
No Mormon rumors. Where did Melanie Gibb and Lori Vallow and Melanie Boudreau-Pawlowski meet? What they were talking about, all these Mormon rumors, basically. Just know that. I'm not saying Megan did. I'm just saying. Said this happened.
So this person actually approached me and handed me a manila envelope. And inside the manila envelope was the book, Visions of Glory.
Something you got to keep hidden. Just doesn't sound great.
And I can only speculate that the reason it was in an envelope was probably because this was post Tom Harrison having to write this letter to the leadership of the church saying it's all fiction. It was just for me. It's not to be taken.
Yeah, let's find that real quick because Lauren does address this too. She reached out to Tom Harrison, meaning Lauren. Okay. And the excerpt, where is it at? Where's it at? Okay, right after that. Okay, so let's back.
I reach out to Tom Harrison. And I reach out because I'm wanting to know more. I'm just trying to learn. And I asked him actually something, and this is how funny. This is 2021. And I reach out to Tom and I introduce him. I say who I am. I grew up near him and his family. Explain that we have similar friends. And, I'm just trying to understand. I'm letting him.
Similar friends. That just doesn't, knowing what I know now, if true, if Spencer Harrison, Tom Harrison's son, was best friends with your brother Jameis, that just doesn't hit right this time, if that's true.
Know what I've discovered.
Let's hear that again.
I grew up near him and his family. Explain that we have similar friends, and I'm just trying to understand. I'm letting him know what I've discovered. I'm wanting to know if he met Chad, and then I'm asking him, do you think Chad thought he was Spencer? Because that's where my mind was then. Did Chad think he was Spencer because of the burner phones? In the burner phones, we have Spencer's wife, and I'm
what the fudge does that? Oh, okay, I know what you're saying.
Thinking, well, if that's Lori, then does Spencer, is Chad Spencer? Because they believe in past lives. That's an important part of this too. Everyone's believing they were different people in past lives. And so I posed this question to Tom Harrison. Do you think that Chad thought he was Spencer? And his response to me was, can you send me your address? I want to send you something. And I said, please, here you go. Here's my address. And in the mail, later came this. He sent me something just as he promised. 2021. Here's the envelope it came in. Address is covered. And inside, from Tom Harrison, is a 2014 letter. And it's to whom it may concern, to my priesthood leaders as now constituted. And it's, again, March 23rd, 2014.
So this is when it was. He sent her an old letter, okay? Never taking accountability or saying, oh my God, if anything that I have put out there in the world via this book, through John Pontius, through my writings, through something that another apostle, Neil Maxwell, advised me not to do, then, oh my God, let me think about this. Let me reflect on this. And let me apologize to the families who lost someone they love or people that they love, if I had anything to do with it. It's not saying, hey, okay, you're charged, with a crime. It's just accepting accountability from someone who goes by or under a pseudonym. You know what I'm saying? A shady character who, through all this process, we come to know is for sure Tom Harrison.
Thomas Gene Harrison, and it's titled Regarding Visions of Glory. Now, I won't read the full letter here. It's long. We'll read it later in the program. But this summarizes it. Let me share how it starts, and let me share how it ends.
There you go.
To whom it may concern, my priesthood leaders. After meeting with my stake president on this 23rd day of March 2014, I write this letter to disclose my feelings and present opinions of the book Visions of Glory, which was published by Cedar Fort Publishing Company in December of 2012. I disclose that I am Spencer, the person with whom the majority of this account is written about. I have been asked to discuss the origins and my present feelings associated with the book. And then he goes on for 4 pages. And I read it. And then we have, it is my intent to not, so 3 pages in, he states, in quotes, it is my intent to not speak of this account any further, other than this letter. I do not have the rights to this work. They belong to the Pontius family, so I have no power to stop the printing. But under no circumstances did I ever mean to conspire, deceive, or acquire gain from these sacred things. Our hope was to live blessed and bring people to Christ. If I am ever asked about this work, I will give those who inquire a copy of this letter. I will not give firesides or presentations regarding this book.
Why?
I hold my membership in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as my most prized possession. I apologize for any injury or misunderstanding this has caused the church, my family, or any individual associated with this book. I am sorry for any offense that this has caused any member. Sincerely, Thomas G. Harrison. So it was clear to me, and here's the book, by the way, we're talking about this book. Here's the book. It was as told by John Pontius. It was clear to me, being a member of the church, that this was clearly a letter to save his membership. I mean, I don't know any other way to see this letter written in 2014. He's apologizing. He's stating what he will no longer do. He will no longer give firesides. He apologizes. But what was most interesting is, looking back, I think that was the moment where I realized this is bigger than I thought. This is a lot bigger than I even initially thought. Here I am thinking, oh, did Chad think he was Spencer? This is, it's like every other kind of obscure near-death experience book. I'd never read a near-death experience book before Chad and Lori, and I was investigating them, but I've read quite a few now. So, and while the book was eerily similar to Chad and Lori's beliefs, and it was concerning to me, the fact that I wrote him and said, hey, do you think Chad was Spencer? And he sent me this. That's actually the moment where I thought, this is actually a lot more important and a lot bigger than I even thought. This is influencing a lot of people, and this has caused great concern, this book. And so I think that's the origin story to where I then actually became even more interested in the book. I started telling people, how did this book play a part in Chad and Lori's belief system? You look it up, and
how did the man,
thousands of copies sold. I started talking about the book on my channel, and then I learned that a lot of people that watched our channel or listened to our podcast defended the book. LDS people, no, this book is good. No, it's not the book's fault. And other people saying this is a terrible book. This book, whatever it is, people have strong feelings about this book. And that was the moment I thought, I need to get to the bottom of this. What's going on?
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah. And then maybe let's bring Mindy in here.
But I mean, did she? Did she get to the bottom of it? I mean, she exposed the book, and nor the person. Like, I don't believe Tom Harrison forced Chad and Lori to do anything. I don't believe he forced Jody Hildebrandt to do anything. I don't know if he even knew Ruby Frankie. He did a podcast with Jody. I'm trying to find all these things and I can't. Like, not fast enough. But how does a man, not a book, how does a man, Tom Harrison, how is he involved in the Hamblin, the Gordon Bowen divorce, where he actually assessed partially Gordon Bowen? Okay. Testified in divorce proceedings between Gordon Bowen and Barbara Timothy Bowen. How is Tom Harrison involved in Hamblin, Bowen, Hildebrandt, Rowe, Ballard, Daybell? How is he involved in every one of those cases? I mean, it's like it happened. It's like a movement that wasn't ever fully exposed. At different times, it's reared its ugly head, splashing the headlines with the latest horrific news, from abused kids to murdered spouses to an alleged LDS Church of Satan punisher who has similar, what do you call them? Dreams, depositions about dreams, that he's had, that Gordon Bowen's had about just some really dark stuff. Okay. Riding Jesus, basic. It just really gross stuff. It's inverted. It's disgusting. And yet Gordon Bowen is, I mean, it hadn't even put a glitch in his step. Okay. He is just living his best life at the hierarchy, in the hierarchy shadows of the church, basically. It freaking bothers me bad. Okay. It bothers me bad. I found this too. This more stuff about John Pontius. 2012 Unblog My Soul reunion interview between John Pontius and Tom Harrison. I have that on my channel as well. Also, know that when I was digging on, let me go grab it real quick so you can see what I'm even talking about. Unblog My Soul. Okay. Building Zion in our hearts. Okay. And homes. Now, I just want you to, let me see if I can even find it. I'm going to make this a little larger. Larger. December 19, 2023. Oh, this is johnpontius.info website that was put up in 2023. You may know, dearest friends, you may know there has been much misinformation and rumor published about Visions of Glory. My late husband, John Pontius, and friend Spencer, that's Tom Harrison. This website was created to clarify the truth about the book, John's standing in the church, and positive testimonials of Visions of Glory. Not negative, though, okay? And this is by Terry. This is John Pontius's widow. Please share this website widely on social media, okay? Let me see when this was done. October 17, 2023. And so when was Unblog? When was this website? December 2023. Okay, let's see. Because I did find, I just don't remember where. In one of these links on this blog, I found, oh shit, frozen. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me open this and see what it brings me to. Oh, okay. Cryptic things that they share. Hold on, let me go back here. And let me shut that one. Okay. Spiritually, you have an apostle of the Lord promising you profound blessings by sharing your voice online, especially read the last 2 paragraphs of Elder Bednar's talk. That's how they work. What am I trying to say? It was like 2 audio files. I don't know. Okay, judging a person does not define who they are. It defines who you are. Okay. Baptism of fire. Oh, shit. Oh, that's not found. I just thought maybe it would pop up a little faster, but it's not. It's been a while, and I remember going there on my phone. So, and I mean, I don't know when this was. Basically, y'all remember whenever Adam Cox talked to the Chandler police investigator about the case, okay? You can find it. It was released in the FOIA files from Chandler. And he talked about how he was supposed to go and meet with his son, Zach, whenever he flew into Phoenix, Chandler, or whatever, Gilbert, to do that. Oh my gosh, whatever you call it. Oh my gosh. To confront Lori about her beliefs with Charles. And he was supposed to meet with the stake president, and he said Shane Holmes. He said Shane Holmes. Okay. It was not bleeped out. It's a Shane Holmes. I found Shane Holmes' name, and he's on an audio file in this Unblog My Soul website right here that I'm showing you on my screen right now. Okay. And it's an audio file of brother Shane Holmes. And I'm like, wow, the stake president and Gabe Bonilla, the freaking bishop. I mean, okay, so you have Shane Holmes, who is all engulfed in this website here, this Visions of Glory, Unblog My Soul, John Pontius, Tom Harrison stuff. Okay. And then you have the bishop, Gabe Bonilla, who's best friends and has a business even with Jason Mao. That's Charles's bishop. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really fucking gross. They didn't stand a chance. My family did not stand a chance. Period. Tammy didn't stand a chance. It's really weird. When I found that, I was like, oh my God. I wish I could find it right now because it's pissing me off. Gadian robbers fill the judgment seats in many nations. An evil power seeks to overthrow the freedom of all nations and countries. Satan reigns in the hearts of men. It is the great day of his power. Okay. Okay. Since Visions of Glory and Journey to the Veil were published, Seagull Book has not only carried, but also championed sales of these books to tens of thousands of people. Now it's come to our attention that Seagull Book has received some undisclosed number of negative letters regarding these books. Oh, this is May 29, 2014. I wonder if this is what prompted that letter to the elders by Tom Harrison that Lauren was just reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, things prompt things, other things. Anyway, so it says now it's coming. Okay, we would like to counterbalance those types of letters and demonstrate to Seagull Book they made the right decision to carry the books. If you would be so kind, we invite you to write Seagull Books corporate office this week because of the uncertainty of email spam, blah blah blah. Feel free to share your testimony and how one or both of these books have had a positive impact on your spirituality and relationship with the Savior. How to distinguish between spiritual voices. Anyways, I'm going to have to find it. And I will. Oh, shit. Now imagine a person full of darkness. What emotions would that person be feeling? Wouldn't that person feel fear, anger, worry, stress, hatred, etc.? For me, it helps to look at this in two separate columns. Okay, here we go. Light and truth, dark, love, fear, hope, despair, joy, anger, gratitude, worry, peace, hatred, patience, stress, confidence, doubt. Whenever darkness fills our minds, and this is from Elder George Q. Cannon, we may know that we are not possessed of the Spirit of God. When we are filled with the Spirit of God, we are filled with joy and with peace and with happiness, no matter what our circumstances may be, for it is a spirit of cheerfulness and of happiness. The Lord has given unto us the gift of the Holy Ghost. Chad preached about the Holy Ghost too. It is our privilege to have the Holy Ghost reign within us, so that from morning till night and from morning till morning we shall have the joy, the light, and the revelation thereof. George Q. Cannon and Brian H. Stoy, I don't know how to say his last name, Collective Discourse. Okay, you can read that. Anyways, I don't know. It just kind of caught my eye there. That one did. Hold on. I keep opening these things on the side. And how can you ask people to identify themselves when you're not identifying yourself as Tom Harrison and you're going under the guise of a pseudonym? You know what I'm saying? I don't quite get that. That's just me, though. Anyways, I'll find it and we'll revisit this whenever I have some more clarity on that. But I wanted to go to this. This is that from 2015. This is the Mormon Stories podcast episode all the way back September 28, 2015 about Julie Rowe. And just listen to what's going on here. It's crazy.
Mormon Stories is a production of the Open Stories Foundation and relies solely upon the support of people like you, its listeners. To help keep the podcast alive or to become a member of the community, please become a monthly subscriber by visiting mormonstories.org and clicking on the donate button on the right side of the page under support. All contributions to Mormon Stories are completely tax deductible and go towards producing the podcast and building communities and programs of support for Mormons like you. Thanks for your support.
Mitzi, yep. Okay, let me skip.
Over the, sort of what are called preppers or preparers. And these are people who are starting to sort of, well, who believe that some sort of major catastrophe is coming in September 2015. They're buying thousands or tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. They're selling their 401ks. They're buying gold. They're doing, buying tents and preparing for some big event that I think is called the Call Out. And it's everywhere. It's in Utah. It's in Nevada. It's in Idaho. And it's really significant. And today we're going to talk about this whole movement. And so first, what I want to do is play a little clip, a 7-minute clip borrowed from a Julie Rowe YouTube clip that I'm going to share on the Mormon Stories page as well. And this will be Julie in her own words, sort of giving an introduction to her story and to her experiences and who she is. And after that clip's over, then what we'll do is we'll jump into the panel discussion. I'll introduce the panel, and then we'll talk about Julie Rowe. So here is the clip of Julie Rowe telling her own story in her own words.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Julie Rowe, and I'm the author of 2 books, A Greater Tomorrow and The Time Is Now. These books tell a little bit about my experience, some of my story of what some would call my near-death experience that occurred in September of 2004. Essentially what happened to me is I had a virus. There were a lot of things going on with my health.
Can I tell you what I think it is? I think it's mind control, experimentation. That's what I think all this is. That's just me. My mind is open. And it all has to do with one man, in my opinion.
The time that kind of set me over, but the tipping point or what essentially caused me to go into the hospital and pass to the other side is that I had a virus that attacked my liver, centralized in my liver, and spread throughout my body, went systemic. And so it, in a weakened state, my body passed to the other side, and I had a visit in the spirit world for a couple of days. I don't know how long that is in spirit world time, but according to hospital records, I was, in quotation marks, medical terms, asleep for 2 days.
Receipts or it didn't happen?
When I found myself in this different realm, I was in the middle of a green field, the most beautiful green field I've ever seen, and was immediately, within a few minutes, I that's what it seemed like. I don't really know how long it was. It was after I'd had a chance to look around for a little bit. I was greeted by a very dear man that was made known to me. He introduced himself as John, and was and is a distant relative of mine. John and I talked for quite some time. We talked about why I was there, where I was, why I was there, and quite a bit about what I would experience. I initially wanted to stay forever.
This is Julie Rowe, this lady right here. All the way back in 2015. Chad Daybell published her books.
the most beautiful place I'd ever seen and had ever been, and was pain-free and felt a love like I have never felt on earth. It was the most incredible, most enveloping love. Essentially, during that time, John and I we talked about our pre-earth life, pre-existence, if you will, and some of what that entailed. And I was reminded of things, and I was shown some things, and had quite a long visit with John about that, and as well as the purpose behind why I had passed to the other side, and some of what would be going on in the future. We talked about my foreordained mission, and my family, my loved ones, my children. I essentially came to an agreement with John. There really aren't words to describe, that's not really the right wording, but that I would be given a tour of the spirit world. That's not the word that was used there. There's a different way that people communicate on the other side. But
Yep, me too.
For all earthly purposes, the word tour is what comes to mind. And I was shown quite a few things, a panorama of the Earth's history from the creation and into the future. And I was able to witness many of the historical events that have happened on this planet, including Adam, Enoch, Moses, the life of our Savior, the birth and death of Savior Jesus Christ. So many of the historical figures that we read about. Learned about Joan of Arc, Christopher Columbus, the founding fathers, the restoration of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we had discussions about all of this, and I was able to meet many of these people and learn of these things.
It was a green field, Donna. I thought so too, but it was a green field. Prettiest green field she ever saw.
And also of the future events that would take place in my lifetime, and the purposes behind what some of my mission is to be able to witness and testify of our Savior Jesus Christ and of his plan of happiness, his plan of salvation, his plan of redemption, of the atoning sacrifice of our loving Father in heaven, Savior Jesus Christ,
So many people.
and of their purposes for us, which is to help us return to them as our Father in heaven's children, that he wants nothing more than for us to be able to come home. I was also shown the Book of Life, the Book of Records. I had a life review, and I was shown.
Chad too was apparently allegedly shown the Book of Life, according to Sean Little Bear. I have those texts. Yeah.
Several other things I won't go into. They were more of a personal nature. The majority of what I was taught there was just for me, and it was in regards to me and my family.
Right.
But I was shown other things, I guess, to help me fulfill the mission that the Lord's given me, and that I agreed to in the pre-existence, which is that I would serve as an additional witness of our Father in heaven and of his plan of salvation and redemption.
Yeah, John Dehlin did apologize to Felicia privately. And it also bothers me too. I mean, I'm just going to say it. It bothers me that there was not a public stance like Mindy did. I commend Mindy. I mean, that took a lot of gall, but I also question people's motives now. Okay. And I mean, I don't think people can blame me for that. I really don't. I don't trust anybody. Okay. I'm like, why are you trying to get close? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I question everybody's motives, their moves, why they do the things that they do, knowing the things that we know. I mean, it just, I hate it, but it is what it is. So I'm glad he did apologize to Felicia, but yet, I don't know. I'm not fulfilled there, you know, like I'm just like, it just would have been nice to hear it, just for people to stand out against her ass. That's what, you know, like, what are they afraid of? Why are there so many alliances? Why are they even doing, like the video I was showing, this video? Why did Lauren and John go on an ex-Mormon based podcast, okay, in October of 2021 to talk about the beliefs of Chad and Lori Daybell? It doesn't track for me. And I even looked up under Mormon Stories podcast, this page right here, about episodes, and it says like somewhere it says active Mormons. There weren't any. And I'm like, some people that I've talked to in the past, in the comment section since the fallout, because I'm like, why is a believing Mormon, Lauren, why is she intertwining with John Glenn? I mean, I think it's big of them to do. I think it's the right thing to do, but no no motives. That's how I look at it now. And I mean, again, I'm sorry for that, but it just kind of is what it is now, let me see. Active. Oh wait, well, now it's saying that. Well, no, excommunicated, disaffiliated. After. From megachurch to Mormon. Okay, so I just want to know why this guy right here, Greg Monson, he was on the flyers with Chad Daybell, okay, and Tim Ballard. So I always have a question about him. Same with Jason Preston. I know, I get it, but he's on the flyer. Same with, what's his name? Ryan Fisher. On the flyers. Going to the Book of Mormon conferences. Okay. I just hold it. And I'm just like, why? I wonder why. Why are they crossing over? I'm going through this just while we're right here. Some of them aren't showing up. Anyways, I don't know. I don't have the answers. How can I, hold on. Is it even sharing over there? Yeah, it is. But it won't let me share. Hold on. I got to stop sharing for a second and then reshare. Here.
And of our Savior Jesus Christ, that he is the Savior of all the world, and that he is very, very real, and that he loves us, each and every one of his children, equally. My mission that I've been given is to share my story with my children, with my loved ones, and with my brothers and sisters, and more of God's children, as many as God's children as will hear his word, and to witness of their love, of their plan, and to testify of the reality of who they are, and also to help serve as a voice of warning for us to prepare spiritually and temporally, specifically spiritually prepare for what we need to do individually and collectively to prepare not just now, but for the days that are soon upon us and that will come to pass as we prepare for the return of our Savior.
And it's crazy and fascinating. And so to join us, I have with me Ryan McKnight. I found
Hello.
Ryan. Hey, Ryan, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
All right.
I found Ryan on Reddit, but he is an accountant and an auditor, and he has a master's in accounting. And he sort of has as an area of interest and maybe even expertise, something that he calls affinity fraud. And as we talk to you, Ryan, you can tell us what that means and how that might or might not apply to Julie Rowe and others, but maybe we don't have to dive into that immediately. Let's start with the history. But in addition to Ryan McKnight, I have joined with me today Samantha Snyder.
Okay, so she's from Zelf on the Shelf, and I forget the other guy's name, but I mean, so you get what I'm saying. Like, I listened to this entire thing the other night while I was cleaning, and I was like, oh my God, how have I not run across this exact episode? But I've also heard a different one, and I can't, I mean, I didn't look too hard because I found that one and it distracted me. But this is it. Hold on. This is extra Julie Rowe and Spencer Energy conference call. But whenever I listened to this one before, it was not the same Spencer. This is Spencer Watson, not the anonymous man whose pseudonym is Spencer from John Pontius's book Visions of Glory. So just know that. So it's very, very, very confusing. This is the business of their. See, I have not seen this part of it. So I got to dig more into this. Just to kind of see, but listen to what they're talking about right here. Julie Rowe and this other Spencer.
Hey guys, welcome to tonight's group call. Sorry about getting started a little late. We had a little technical difficulties, of course. And we are excited that you have made this a priority to be on this call. And we are grateful for everything, for all the prayers and all the good comments you guys have been sending. For those that are online, you are able to post questions off on your screen. So take advantage of that. I've been going through a couple of them, and then also I'll be going through them to the call, and we will get to as many as possible throughout this. Just a couple of updates. A lot of things have been going on. Holistically, my personal website is being
Okay, just to address this question, does anyone know what's up with the LDS Church suing John Dehlin and Mormon Stories and changing their name, etc.? Yeah, he was actually live earlier at the same time, but I don't know the latest. I'm sure people have already answered you on this too, because I've been in and out, in and out, in and out. I don't know why they don't they want to go to sleep. I do that too. I'm like, okay, stop. I don't want to be like melatonin megatonin, right? Anyways, I mean, it's really boring. This for sure is very boring.
And don't think if you fall asleep or you don't feel it, or maybe something else is happening that you're not doing the right things or it's not working for you. Everybody acts, everything happens differently. There is a complete plan set for you. There is a complete way that this is supposed to work for you, and is part of the Lord's orchestration for your life. Using the details of.
I don't really think so, sir. That's your opinion, though. But here is Tom Harrison. Hold on. Sometimes I'm not able to edit these, like frame them up, crop them in here. So I apologize for that. But here's Tom Harrison in 2019.
We plan a conference for March.
Someone to live principles of being honest, responsible, and humble.
Thank you, Faye.
So vulnerability means I'm willing to accept the state.
Hi, I'm Tom Harrison with Eternal Core God-Centric.
Sorry, that's me doing that in the past.
Hi, I'm Tom Harrison with Eternal Core God-Centric Mental Health.
Can you imagine?
We plan a conference for March 29th and 30th, 2019 at Little America Hotel. Now on the Friday evening, we are going to have a date night. And we are going to have Tim Ballard talk about many of the things that he has done with OUR and the reason why he started that program. And you're going to be able to hear the inside story about Tim and OUR. And then Kenneth is going to bless us with some great music. And then I have the wonderful opportunity of chatting with you about a date night experience using some very interesting verses from the Old Testament. And I think you'll find them very interesting and very appropriate for today. So please come.
Music's too loud.
And I think you'll be entertained, and hopefully you'll learn some very interesting things. So come join us on Friday and Saturday, March 29th and 30th at the Little America Hotel. Look forward to seeing you then.
I mean, can you just wait?
I am.
Very rare. Look. Despite not being a licensed CSW, Tom continues to work/consult in quasi-official capacities. Tom was the co-founder of Eternal Core. I can't access an official website due to incessant malware warnings associated with their official website. I assume the web page has been abandoned. Yet I can garner plenty of information from their official YouTube channel. They have since, ex-nayed that. They 404 that sucker. And other online resources. Tom founded Eternal Core with the help of Ken Krogh. Eternal Core is a community for practitioners and those struggling with mental and emotional health, right? Vulnerable people who are seeking treatment outside the bounds of modern pharmacology while maintaining outside the bounds of modern pharmacology, by the way, while maintaining the spiritual core of individual identity. The enmeshment of religion and counseling is apparent in their presentations. Here is the banner photo of their conference Facebook page. And this is the one that Lauren and John were talking about. Well, Dylan we're talking about. There's Jody. There's Tom. There's Tim. And other problematic people on here. As you can see, there are several familiar faces on this banner. Since Eternal Core's focus is on counseling and addiction, mainly sex/porn, many of the individuals presented specialize in these fields. Of note, Jody Hildebrandt, the recently arrested, was a keynote speaker at the Eternal Core 2019 conference. Note also the presence of Clay Olson of Fight the New Drug. And I mean, I have presentations of him too that Tim Ballard went to and endorsed. Jessica Mass, Tim, Jody, Ken, Tom. Sorry, it doubles. Ken, okay, so this back to Ken. Tom founded Eternal Core with the help of Ken Krogh. Ken suffered greatly from his car accident and sought relief from the pain and the addictions he was fighting. Ken was introduced to Tom by none other than Rod Meldrum. Do you see the circles are so deep here? Tom was able to provide relief to Ken. You can tell there is a serious, almost spiritual relationship between the two of them. The origin of Tom and Rod's relationship is a mystery to me, but they have both been involved with Mike and Nancy James of Preparing a People. Note that after the fallout of Julie Rowe, Chad Daybell, and Lori Vallow, Preparing a People slowly dissolved. And Mike and Nancy focused on latter-day media. They have like 10. I remember, I'm like, oh my God, they have so many organizations. I remember finding that on their LinkedIn. And in their projects with Rod Meldrum and Avraham Gileadi. Together, Ken and Tom created Eternal Core. Okay, I already read that part. Okay, his organization has been, Fight the New Drug, Clay Olson. His organization has been criticized by professional therapists for some time. OUR, Operation Underground Railroad. Significantly, I want to emphasize the apparent overlap of OUR and Eternal Core. As you can see, Tim Ballard has an existing relationship with Tom, Liberty 89, and has participated in an Eternal Core event. In addition to Tim Ballard, Jessica Mass and Tyler Schwab have ties to Eternal Core and OUR. Jessica Mass is the chief of aftercare at OUR, and Tyler Schwab is the OUR director of aftercare, Latin America. Okay, so has previously served as the senior aftercare country manager specialist. Sherston, in her interview with investigators, made mentions of Jessica Mass. Oh,
We plan a conference.
wow. Okay, so these are out of order. Oh, that's
Tim
scary.
Ballard talk about.
I don't know why I was doing that. Tom Harrison asked to put out an announcement that then the 50% off early bird discount has begun. Go to eternalcore.org and reserve your seat before we either sell out or the discount. These are fronts. That's my opinion. That is strictly my opinion. Like, that's what I have surmised after all these years of analyzing and just trying to figure out what the hell this is, you know? It's like under the guise of these conferences. Where'd it go? I know I opened it. Well, shit. Oh, it's over there. This is Eternal Core, 19 followers. Okay. I think we've slowed this down quite a bit. You got Hannah LeBaron. Okay. Karchner. Yeah, I think this last name is in the Hamblin. I'm just saying the last name, not, the person. Martha Johnson. I wonder if she's related to freaking Lauren. And oh my God, I need to get that link from Penny about the from Vimeo. Oh my gosh. I want to watch that whole damn thing. Tim Ballard. Here we go. Oh god dang. Sign me in, damn it. Today would be nice. Hold on, signing in, yada yada. Oh god dang, I hate that. This happens to me with X all the time. There's Maurice Harker. I think I passed it up. Maybe not. Telling the stories of modern day slavery. I'm bringing Tim Ballard back into focus because he was just awarded a government contract of a buttload of money to be like to accompany minors. I don't really have it nailed down yet in my mind, but from what I remember, it was to accompany illegal immigrants, minors, unaccompanied. Okay. And no, not no, but hell no, Mr. Let's build a wall. Mr. I'm friends with Trump. No, no. We've never seen receipts. We've heard Tim Ballard refer to Tom Harrison as a brain specialist that helps heal the brains of the trafficked children that they rescue. There's no receipts of it. No. Okay, no. No receipts. It did not happen. Okay, that's where I'm at. Let's go here. Faith is crucial to the rescue of sex.
Hello, everybody. Ken Krogh here with Tom Harrison, and our guest today is Tim Ballard. We finished an episode just a little bit ago where Tim told us some of the background, some of the things that have been happening about his latest book, how Operation Underground Railroad was formed. But let's talk now about Eternal Core is God-centered mental health, a faith-based platform. Faith's been a really big part of your whole project. Everything started with some insights that you gained personally. Walk us through from that perspective.
I can't hear you, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have done this without the faith component. I never would have dreamed of doing it. I felt, it was a counterintuitive move to go from the most secure job in the world, being a federal employee.
Until just like 2 weeks, right?
Right. Until most recently. Going into what many would consider the most insecure, financially insecure, starting a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Which less than, I mean, the statistics are horrible. They don't last, most of them, more than a year, right? And so I never would have done it without having received a confirmation that you will do this, In fact, I'll tell you, I had made these promises. Last episode, I told you about this. I made a promise to a father that I'd help him find his son. I made a promise to a group of Colombian officers that I would help them rescue 100 kids in Colombia. I made those promises when I thought I could still do that as a government agent. And then I learned I couldn't, and I had to fulfill the promise. So I went to my wife, whose faith is, is heads and tails above mine, and I said, what do I do? And she's calm, and she says, well, you have to fulfill these promises. These are real kids. You're going to actually go rescue 100 kids, which we did. And movies that were made about that operation, starring Jim Caviezel.
Okay, no, that's he's talking about Sound of Freedom and Negative, Ghost Rider. Negative, that's a negative. Anyways, I shared the link in the chat. You're more than welcome to go tear these up, okay? Because there's so many. Okay, I listened to one time. I wish I knew exactly which one it was, but it was Tom Harrison talking about. Oh, here we go. Here's Jody Hildebrandt, the counterfeit of connection. Okay. Let me just play this.
Hello, everybody. This is Ken Krogh and Tom Harrison with the Eternal Core podcast. We're excited today to have Jody Hildebrandt. She's got a massive podcast following, 500,000 people. So we said, look, we want to be on your show next time. But for now, she's on our show. She's remote, so you're going to see her dialing in through Skype on one of our separate videos here. Welcome, Jody. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, Ken.
It's exciting to have you here with us, Jody.
Thanks
for your willingness to come on.
Thank you.
Now, I understand we had a meeting in a local Chuckarama a little while ago to talk through this auspicious.
So is what's his face? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Does all the religious movies with Jim Caviezel too. Shit. Not Kevin Costner. Or is it? Oh my God.
Auspicious day. And wow, you've got some amazing things. An organization called Connections. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how you got involved with all that?
Yeah, so Connections kind of was created over a period of about 15 years. And the last about 5 or 6 years, I decided to change the name of my company from Sunrise Counseling to Connections, because I started learning some principles about how to actually connect myself to God and teach other people how to connect. And so that's when I switched over to the name of Connections.
Wonderful. Now, how in the world did you get into podcasting and have this many follow? I'm taking notes here. How'd you do all this? This is pretty cool.
Well, you know what? I
which is why I call bullshit on. I mean, I respect Adam Steed. His, his I guess conclusion was that Jody was trying to swipe Ruby's subscriber base, but I don't know why that would be if she shut it down. Basically, like, this is more of a Lori and Chad kind of movement, in my opinion, and it has less to do with shit like that. You know what I mean? And he just was like, wow, 500,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, to be moving or planning a move to Arizona, and then what they were doing to those kids, it just, I don't know. To me, it's like, it sounds great, but I don't know. I haven't been able to take that any further.
I lay in bed at night and think, I'm not quite sure how I got here.
Don't we all?
I was spiritually prompted to have a radio show one day, quote unquote. And I knew nobody in radio. And so I went to a family member and said, I need to start teaching people on a massive scale these principles.
So why did she need to start teaching people on a massive scale? I feel like these are not self-appointed missions that are given to these individuals. I think that there's some hokey pokey around in this area. I don't think they're just appointing themselves as cult leaders. Okay. I really don't. I think this is one massive ass movement that's been exposed partially at different sectors, not fully. And it makes it seem like it's happened in a vacuum. And that's how this movement continues to go. and just, it continues to leave a wake of victims in its wake. Lauren, in my opinion, and John protect people like Tom Harrison in this movement that are moving this movement forward, the work forward, drop by drop. Okay. And that's my personal, and, just me researching into this movement since early 2020. Okay. It's bigger than what people give it, straight up. And then whenever something bad hits the headlines, they're like, oh my God, we could have never seen this coming. But then everybody's like, oh, they not like us. They not like us. And they distance. And then they call it another cult, another sector, another fringe group. Okay. Maybe so, but it's growing and thriving. It's a petri dish inside of the church. It's a rot inside of the church. Just my outside opinion. So it's like it's cultivated in a way. And it's scary. That part is scary. It's crazy scary to me. Ew. It's like, what piece is going to be, come out next? I don't know, but it's going to be a part of this culture. I don't know what to say. I don't want to call it a network. I'll call it a network.
Principles of connection. And I need to get in touch with somebody in radio. And he said to me, well, why don't you have a podcast? And I'd never even heard of that word podcast before. And I said, what is it? And he said, well, a podcast goes to the whole world. It's on the internet. And I said, that is what I need right there. And I went out to southern Utah, where I was living at the time, and took a little microphone and stood in the desert and recorded my first podcast. And it's gone from there, all word of mouth.
You just did it. When was that?
And by desert, does she mean in her $7 million home? I mean, compound? I don't know.
Roughly, Jody.
What's that?
When did you do that? How long has it been?
That in the summer of 2014.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
So did you have any lizards join your first podcast out there in the desert?
No, a few little gusts of wind. I got some red dirt in my mouth, but other than that, I was pretty much alone.
Oh, I love Dick.
And I just said, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Let me just teach you a principle I've learned over the past couple of years, and just started from teaching from a place.
Chad Daybell also taught principles. That's another thing that I'll look at. Glenn Beck talks about principles. They also talk about miracles. And I'm just like, I don't quite have a handle on that yet. I don't know if Huggy can throw in on that insight into what these miracles are. Lori and Chad have talked about miracles. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like when they say miracles, because it ain't nothing good. It's their inside speak. It's signals to the other people in this cult, because there are many people in this cult of all religions.
Of the principle of control, and how control is so destructive inside relationships.
Wow. Always.
Yes, always.
And so many people seem to think that that's the only way to have a relationship, is to have that element of control. But little do they know that they're destroying it right when it enters in.
That's exactly right. Well, that is the counterfeit of connection. I'd call it disconnect.
Right.
So there's two paths. There's a connected path and there's a disconnected path. And
there's also the right-hand path, which is the path of God. And then there's the left-hand path, which is doesn't David Hamblin have some kind of website about the left-hand path, or some path with a red door or something? I don't think I'm saying it quite right, but I think Huggy will get it. I love when Huggy's here. If you have any questions, ask them. And Huggy will help. Huggy is very, very reliable.
Choice we make either goes down a path of connection or a path of disconnect. So you're right. Every time control enters, they are actively disconnecting with each other and themselves.
Well, it stops that eternal flow. And
Yes.
anytime you control it, it's just like strangling that eternal flow. And what you're doing is you're actually stopping connections, eliminating. But I think so many people think that if they don't control it.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to show you what I'm talking about, Dr. Von Decay. I mean, I've said it, I've sprinkled it. I mean, throughout. A lot of people think this is just Mormon based, but it's not. That's just my take on it. And I mean, I've connected it. When you follow the money knows no bounds, no religious bounds. It does not respect anything. Okay. Money is money and is dirty. I've connected it all the way, or, there's other researchers who do this stuff, and it's like different sectors that connect back to this. Okay. You've got like the Process Church of the Final Judgment, which is a Scientology arm. It's like basically what I would call the shadow church of Scientology, which is basically what Gordon Bowen is to the LDS church. He's like the shadow church of the LDS religion. He does a lot of things in the shadows. Let's see. It goes all the way. These people, to me, just weaponize. This is their culture. This is just like Diddy is to hip hop, what Chad and Lori are to Mormonism. Does that make sense? What L. Ron Hubbard is to Scientology. What these people are to whatever culture they're in. It could be like Jody, she's using it and structuring it around basically saying the same thing, left hand, right hand, two paths, the good path, the bad path. But she's doing it in therapy talk. I don't know a better word, a better term for that, but it's no matter where you're at, if it's an island with pineapples or grapefruit or whatever, that's what they're going to talk about. That's what they're going to, anyways, I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, it goes all the way up to the Rothschilds. It goes all the way up to Carlos Slim. It goes all the way up to John Paul DeJoria, to the people who sponsor and endorse and push Patron. Okay. It's all about these podcasters, even in the YouTube arena and others, like Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, Lauren and John. Okay. It's like controlled opposition. And it's like they're meant to just play dumb or just sprinkle. And trust me, whatever is released, it's because they allow it to be released. It's not because these people are going and bucking the system. They're taking sponsorships. They're getting paid. Trust me, they're getting paid. That's why they don't have to censor their words. That's why they just say what the hell they want to say, do whatever they want to do. And people are just start worshiping them basically and propping them up, and then act like these people can't do them wrong. Or, I mean, how could Candace, and I mean, look, I'm not in all this shit, but I'm just saying, as an outsider looking in to how this works, Candace is somebody who's playing her part in the end times. Okay. She's still programmed for with end time programming. They still throw their signs and symbols. They still, do an attaboy, they're just playing their part. They're actors. They are, they have IMDb's, influencer industrial complex is a very good term. Thank you, Huggy Bear. That's what this is. It's controlled opposition, and it's to dupe people. They're not doing it just in churches. They're doing it everywhere that they can influence anybody. Okay. And everybody. So be careful. Even here, Like that's why I won't even look at sponsorships. I'm like, I can use them. I would love to, it would be great to be able to, not have to worry every damn month. But, it's not worth selling my soul, so to speak. It's not worth it. I see what it does. It turns people into Lauren and John. It turns people into competitors, into controlled opposite, to dupe people. Like, here, say what. And I mean, because it goes beyond that. It goes beyond just the sponsorships. And so there's a lot of these big names. I mean, look how fast they grew. Why? Because they were allowed to, because they were endorsed to, because they were written in the script to. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but basically. And I mean, Trisha, in my opinion, and Lauren and John, no different. I try to figure out when did it happen? Did John and Lauren come into this with this idea? Okay. To ingratiate themselves into the Daybell case, into my family's lives, and do what they do best, right? Exploit. Opportunistic. I mean, they pounce on that shit. It's kind of crazy, huh? And they all have this weird origin story that, it's basically the same. It's either magical, like, oh, I landed in Hooker, Oklahoma, and I found this, whatever Joe Schmo said about London. Is her last name Valdez? I don't remember her last name. Anyways, no, you didn't just stumble into frickin' Hooker, Oklahoma, dude. Sorry. Sit down, clown. Trisha, be me. Okay, well, that doesn't mean you get to be her. Okay, weirdo. Like, your fake magical text does not give you all rights to possess your dead friend's life. Okay? Or estate. It doesn't. It's weird. And it's all the same damn playbook. It's all the same damn playbook, different player, different, same game. Same fucking book. Anyways. And I mean, okay, good. London Valdez. Thank you. Now look, last night, y'all. And I mean, look, y'all, I don't know how this works. Again, I kind of feel like it's the PhD thing. But last night, I was looking under some videos. Okay, let's say like this. Okay. Except I'm going to try and figure out which one it was. I think it was his speech, or no. Hold on, I'm close. Hidden hour on location. Lauren at the Firm Expo. Yeah, she just went and did shake hands. That's what she went and did. She calls them friends. She said so herself. We gotta believe them when they say who they are. We can't blame everything on them duping people. We have to blame ourselves too for allowing them to dupe us. For equipping, like putting our own empathy on them as if they have our empathy. They don't. They don't. They mock, they like mirror, they try to imitate. It's the one. I'm sitting way too close too. It's I mean, look at this. Look at this.
You guys, I wanted to go live.
I mean, what the fuck? Look at her pointing. She looked like JLR. She just needs to put her hand on her face and do the Home Alone pose. The mouth gaping open. I can't believe. Oh, is it? I think it might be this one. Yep. So
Elias Church.
I was looking, and you know how you can go to ask questions, and I was like, does she mention Tom Harrison's name? And yes, the speaker mentions Tom Harrison repeatedly. Okay. This isn't the same video then. Throughout the video, she identifies him as the real life person behind the alias Spencer in the book Visions of Glory. Key points mentioned regarding Tom Harrison include author identity. She explains that Tom Harrison is a therapist in Salt Lake City who was initially forthcoming about his identity as the book's subject. Connections. She don't discuss hers, I'll tell you that. Okay. That's the hidden hand. Okay. She discusses hearing from sources that he met with Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe, and notes his connections to various figures, including Tim Ballard and Jody Hildebrandt. Mentorship. She notes he acted as a mentor to Tim Ballard in relation to Operation Underground Railroad, and that he reportedly advised on who was light or dark within that organization. That's not Chad. That's Tom with Tim. Do you see what I'm saying here? This is not Chad Daybell's. He did not create this belief system. He's only preaching and teaching and practicing it. Okay? That's the harm here. The hidden harm, if you will. That's what they're not telling you. Or me. I had to figure this out, by reading through the bullshit. Because they're not going to tell you. And they're good. They're good with that stuff. Okay. And then, okay, so what it did, oh my God, it was something about beliefs, and it brought up, it was on my phone when I did it, but it brought up like 5 websites, that I could go to kind of corroborate that. And let me go to my Google Photos. It'll be at the top there. So I can show you what the hell it brought me to, because I need to know. Okay. It brought me to like here. And I was like, Courthouse News Service. It was just one of the things. And it says Joe, I don't even know how to say this. Nick. I don't know. Okay. I don't think it's meant to be understood. April 4th, 2025. And I was like, Joe Schmo? Because Joe Schmo was there. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying this was my thought process. And I was like, that's weird. And so it pulled this up from his ex. And it says journalist Joe AZ. And I'm like, that cannot be Joe Schmo. It don't look like him, first off. But look, it says Arizona Law and Politics for Courthouse News, Bylines, AZ Central, Indy Star, KCC or KC Chronicle, Purdue Exponent, Illinois, or IL in Arizona, or ILIN AZ. I don't know, Anyways, it threw me for a loop, because I was like, is Joe Schmo this dude? Joe Duhan, whatever. I don't know how to say his name. Okay. And he covers stories like this. Mr. Biggs, Andy Biggs, that was posed with Jason Mao, and who was receiving Jason Mao's book as a gift with him and Gabe Bonilla at the Capitol. Doing stories like this. I don't know. I don't know if Joe's posing under a different name. I have no idea. That's why I needed y'all's help. See all these stories? Joe covers Arizona law and politics, focusing primarily on Arizona federal courts and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Outside the courthouse, you can find him reporting on the city of Phoenix and the Arizona State Legislature. Before Courthouse News, he covered criminal justice for the Purdue Exponent student newspaper in West Lafayette, Indiana. Send tips to whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. I might be tripping by now. Okay. I don't understand how that works. Yeah, it's not Joe. It's Paul. But I mean, I don't know. So I did want to share that with you guys. Yeah, it was Mitzi Blankenship. It was you that made Trisha's teeth fall out. I bow to your powers. Right when she went to say fake, her teeth flew out on that word right there. And it just said, boom. Okay. Okay, so Intervision says, just like his federal court expert witness claims, his adventure leader branding was a marketing fiction that completely falls apart under professional legal inspection. In the Dittmer case. Oh, wait. John claimed heavily that he serves as an expert witness for the federal government and acts broadly as a specialized forensic psychologist. Claims later dismantled by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Yes. Thank you. Which reminds me of where I was just sharing. I know we're not going to be here too much longer. Okay. Here. Because I go and I check, right? Yeah, this wasn't the one I did because at the very top, it's
You guys, I wanted to go live.
It definitely was. Hey guys, I wanted to go live. When did you
Hidden, a
lady?
true crime.
Okay. It was I'd be better off looking at my damn history, basically. Certificate. Hold on. I'm doing that. I do want y'all to hear this though while I look for that. Okay.
Fighting against Zion with weapons and things like that. And so this talks about dealing with warfare is the section in the book. And it says, there was a law we followed. It was not a rule, but a law. Which, can anybody tell me the difference between a rule and a law? Me either.
No.
Okay. Just making sure it wasn't me. When an individual or group threatened us, we knew their hearts. If there was any hope, even the slightest hope, that they could be saved, even in the most telestial sense, we did not harm them. When we were confronted by people who were fully ripe in iniquity and who would never repent, then we were free to deliver them from mortality. Their death would then be a blessing to them because they could no longer add additional iniquity to their divine ledger.
Rest in peace, JJ and Tylee. Because that's
And by the way,
but continue pushing him, Lauren. Okay. Continue to protect. You don't get to say that. You know what I mean? Like you don't.
Because they could no longer add additional iniquity to their divine ledger.
Rest
Riveting.
in peace, JJ.
You didn't write it, okay?
And Tylee. Because that's
and by the way,
and Charles and
that is Brigham Young's blood atonement.
Okay. Brigham Young's blood atonement. Guess who Brigham Young's henchman was? Trisha's great-great-great-grandfather. So when Stacy says, you better be careful who you fuck with, basically. Okay. That's what I get. Like, don't mess with us, bitch. Is what she's saying. And she's telling that to me and my mom. Not calling us out by name because they're not going to do that. They don't do that. That's not how they operate. But people who have lost their family members to blood atonement, basically, from this faith, Trisha might have claimed to be raised in a Catholic church. She's still part of that culture. She still comes from the blood lineage of Wild Bill Hickman, Brigham Young's blood atonement practicing henchman. Okay? Just saying.
Theory. That sometimes there are sins that are committed that the only way you can receive forgiveness is to have your own blood shed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is rooted in Brigham Young's own teachings found in the Journal of Discourses.
Yeah, and there's a terrible story about a man.
So bam, it ties right back in the LDS belief.
Who committed adultery, and I guess
we know, everybody knows that story. Megan, catch
At
up.
some point in the night, the brethren came for him and had dug a hole for him, and he knelt down in front of the grave and accepted that he needed to be killed because he committed adultery.
Yeah. Let's play the clip just because
Let's play it. I know I want to hear it.
Yeah.
She wants to hear it. I say that. And I say this with the most, I don't know how to handle this, okay? I don't really know how to handle this. But I know that I can't be quiet about it. And it sucks because a person that I've come to love and respect is not only just of this religion, but this is her uncle. Okay? I don't know how to handle this part. This guy, Senator Mike Lee, bloodlines, man. Bloodlines. And it goes back to the Mormon Meadows Massacre, John D. Lee. I don't know how to handle this. And I mean, he went to conferences, firm expos, blah, 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 blah. He loves Andy Biggs, Trump, blah, blah, blah. Tim Ballard. He met with Tim Ballard the night before Tim was going to announce that he was running for Senate. He met him at the Salt Lake City airport, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. But listen how he says this. And this is in 2024, Prescott, Arizona, Trump fireside. Let me turn this up.
You that it's my personal view, rooted in the scriptures and rooted in my own faith, that America is indeed a special land. It was a land set aside for a free, prosperous people, a group of people who would be free from tyranny as long as they were not fully ripe in their iniquity.
Okay.
Free, prosperous people, a group of people who would be free from tyranny as long as they were not fully ripe in their iniquity. There are indeed so many righteous people in this country, in our faith, outside of our faith. They're good people. Sometimes our government gets ahead of itself, and this is one of those times.
Okay, hold on. Going back to here, just to remind you what this sounds like. Like, it made me do a freaking 180, okay?
It was not a rule, but a law. Which, can anybody tell me the difference between a rule and a law? Me either.
Nope.
Okay. Just making sure it wasn't me. When an individual or group threatened us, we knew their hearts. If there was any hope, even the slightest hope, that they could be saved, even in the most telestial sense, we did not harm them. When we were confronted by people who were fully ripe in iniquity and who would never repent, then we were free to deliver them from mortality. Their death would then be a blessing to them because they could no longer add additional iniquity to their divine ledger.
To me, I got the same thing.
Rest in peace, JJ and Tylee, because that's
And by the way,
And Charles and
that is Brigham Young's blood atonement theory. That
Wow,
sometimes
interesting.
there are sins that are committed that the only way you can receive forgiveness is to have your own blood shed.
Okay. So that's what this is all about, unfortunately. And it's Christina's uncle. I don't know how to handle that, you know? I mean, she's the most reasonable, caring person I've come to know in all this, you know? And I wish that people of her faith would, you know, follow suit. Because she don't talk about it. She does it. You know what I'm saying? She walks the walk. She doesn't just talk the talk. She like exhibits what being a good person looks like to me. But you know, I can't help. I mean, there's just kind of one of the people that I've, you know, had to follow through all this. And then I'm like, oh my God, no. You know, how do I work? And I mean, it's hard to work out in my mind, you know, but we aren't our families. I am not my whatever, my mother's sin or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that. And there are those that are to break the chains of these generational practices. Okay. Yeah, you can't pick your relatives. That's why God gave us friends. Right? Oh man. But yeah, there you go. Donna L. Allen says there's a major theme of the Book of Mormon. This is a major theme of the Book of Mormon. God stops his blessings and people get wiped off the face of the land when they become wicked. That's why members blame the unrighteous for problems, separating the wheats from the tares, or the wheat from the tares. Lori's still talking about this, or she did, in an interview with Nate. Stay on the boat, Nate. That that was crazy. And I mean, the parable of the wheat and the tares, they took it upon themselves to play God. That's how I see it. But anyways, so I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. But I just want people to know that I'm aware, but I still love Christina. Okay. I'm just saying. I don't understand the situation in totality anyways. I'm just trying to learn and understand what went into the ideas, what influenced Chad and Lori to do and believe what they believed and practice what they practice and to kill. And so is it Tom Harrison, or is Tom Harrison just the latest, talking head? And I mean, these do connect to outside of the faith. Charlie Kirk wasn't of the faith, but he's of the Brotherhood. So I don't know. I don't have it figured out. And I mean, I hope this doesn't, I just want this to be a place where it's safe for us to talk and carry on the conversation. That's all. That's it. That's all. It doesn't bring my family back. It doesn't bring anybody else's family back for that matter. But I feel like it provides us a platform here where we can talk about these things in a safe environment where we don't have to fear being shunned or, exploited or blocked just by trying to understand. I think that's what that's what I think I attract here, as people who have questions. We have questions. I don't have the answers. Like, don't come here. This is not a Q&A. I don't ever hold Q&As. Do you ever notice that? I don't have the answers. I can just give you my take on it. You give me yours. We'll meet in the middle. It's somewhere in between there. But it's the least we can do. I just don't think it's cool that, like, the whole reason for tonight, the title, the thumbnail, the inspiration, I guess you could say, is because, hold questions. I'm an asshole. I need to make some merch. Okay. And we can be difficult assholes. You're on your phone, Donna? Okay. Again, it is what it is. And it's like trying to make sense of gobbledygook, like it doesn't make sense. And I think it's designed that way. And Aussie, Cheryl, and Amanda have a question for chat by Lauren saying JJ and Tylee's names during that moment on Mormon Stories. Does that mean their deaths were just confirmed as blood atonement? AKA Lauren. Through Lauren, via Lauren. I think, and Megan and Mindy. And I agree with that. Wow. See what I'm saying? I can't do it by myself. I don't do it by myself. I don't. Like, we all have these different perspectives, different ways of looking at things, different walks of life. And I love that, because it's like, there's 119 people in here right now. That's 119 plus me, 120 different ways of looking at one situation. Okay. It's endless here. And I mean, no way is the right way. No way is the wrong way. I don't know. It's just perceptions and like shifting your perception. That's been the hardest thing with that for me, is the shifting of my perspective and like, oh crap. If you look at it this whole other different way, then then you see where, and I'm just giving an example, where Trisha and Lauren seem to be celebrating, glorifying the killers, with the 144,000 fundraiser, giving Chad and Lori a platform, basically, where they claim that they're mocking them, but it just doesn't appear that way now. Yeah. I mean, they were so convincing to me. I didn't see it, that I participated in that shit. That makes me sick to my stomach. Now, looking back, and I'm like, oh my God, wow. Oh, good, Gina Marie. I'm so glad. Isn't it great? I think it is too. I think it is too. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, some things I'm worthy to judge, but damn, I do not envy that position. Oh my gosh. I'm like, that's why I'm not the judge. That is perfect example of why I'm not the damn judge. I'm just here trying to navigate it. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to, you reminded me of my Google notebook or Gemini notebook. I think it's this one. We'll see. Yeah, let's finish this. Allegedly. It doesn't show it playing yet. Come on. Hold on, let me refresh it. Crash of the refresher. Let's see. Back over here.
For years, Lori Vallow appeared to be a typical, devout mother living a conventional suburban life. To her brother, Adam Cox, she was grounded, deeply involved in her family, and entirely normal. Really specific, alarming delusions. She told family members she was married to the angel Moroni, held a special priesthood, and possessed the ability to visually identify dark spirits lingering around other people. These claims escalated until Lori reached a terrifying conviction. She told Charles that he was already dead, and that his physical body had been taken over by a demon named Ned. The tension surrounding these accusations erupted in violence. Charles Vallow was shot to death by Lori's brother, Alex Cox, in an encounter that the family immediately framed to police as a self-defense shooting. This mugshot represents the endpoint of a specific, traceable pipeline of ideological radicalization that had been quietly building for years. The path to this tragedy begins in online prepper forums, like the website Avow, and the exchange of fringe survivalist literature. For most participants, the baseline of this community was entirely harmless and practical, stocking up on glass jars of food storage and emergency supplies to prepare for the end times.
Thank you.
But these digital spaces slowly morphed into an insular community. Members began sharing extreme, apocalyptic visions and dreams, deliberately isolating themselves from the scrutiny of mainstream church leadership. This fringe subculture was quickly monetized. A lucrative business model emerged to cater to these beliefs, driven by private energy healing sessions, exclusive podcasts, and expensive conferences operating under the banner Preparing a People. Chad Daybell emerged as a central authority figure in this space. He leveraged his self-proclaimed near-death experiences to sell books directly to this captive, vulnerable audience. The danger lay in the structure of the community itself. It functioned as an unchecked, monetized echo chamber that actively rewarded escalating delusions with social status and financial profit. Within this closed loop, Chad and Lori adopted an arbitrary spiritual rating system, categorizing every person in their lives, including their own family members, as either light or dark. This diagram visualizes how their theological sorting system actually worked. They assigned exact numerical values to track a soul's supposed allegiance, contrasting a 4.3 light against a 3.5 dark. They paired this rating system with the concept of multiple mortal probations, a fringe interpretation of reincarnation that lowered the stakes of physical death by claiming a spirit simply moves on to its next life. Then came the final ideological leap, the zombie doctrine. They asserted that a person's true spirit could be ousted entirely, leaving their physical body possessed by a dark entity. This doctrine served a highly specific, lethal utility. Once a spouse or a child is labeled a zombie, doxbasical death is required to free their trapped spirit. Murder is no longer a sin. It is reframed as a righteous rescue mission. Lori and Chad operationalized these beliefs under the guise of an elite divine calling, claiming they were chosen to gather 144,000 pure souls before the imminent end of the world. Alex Cox stepped into the role of the cult's enforcer. He acted directly on Lori's theological directives, carrying out the physical labor of eliminating anyone they deemed an obstacle to their mission. The timeline converges on September 8, 2019. Lori and Alex took teenagers Tylee and JJ on an outing to Yellowstone National Park. The final day either of the children were seen alive.
Teenagers.
This FBI map tracks Alex Cox's phone pings as he travels south, exiting the national park. The data logs suspicious stops along dirt roads, sitting motionless in remote areas for 7 minutes, and later.
Okay, just know that the pings, like this video is operating off of the YouTube videos I provided from Lauren and John's playlist. So these are the pings that she was talking about that she got, you know, from a rumored affair, maybe? I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. Maybe. Not really.
20 minutes. The abstract concepts of dark spirits and zombies had left the digital echo chamber. They had materialized into calculated physical murder. The ultimate human toll of this ideological mission is absolute devastation. Charles Vallow, Tammy Daybell, and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan were all killed. And alongside his sister, 7-year-old Joshua Jackson Vallow was murdered and buried in a shallow grave. Lori and Chad had convinced themselves they were translated beings, immortal and immune to earthly bullets. That grand illusion dissolved the moment they were arrested, tried, and locked inside a concrete cell. The collateral damage continues to tear through the living. Family members who tried to disrupt the delusion, like Adam Cox, found themselves alienated and entirely cut off by their own parents, who chose to protect the perpetrators. Whether this nightmare was born of unchecked mental illness or a calculated predatory con, the mechanics remain the same. It exposes the extreme, lethal danger of insular communities that monetize fringe beliefs, isolate their followers, and write theological permission slips for absolute evil.
Okay. I thought that was the audio one that we did earlier, but it was not. So I just committed to it. That's all I did. And I took you there with me. But again, these are based all off of 118 sources. It takes up to 300 sources. So we'll see, like that one right there is a double. So I hate that. It's very monotonous. That one is too. It's monotonous to sit there and just transfer them over and over and over and over. Anyways, so these are hidden true crimes. This is their content. This is what they would have you believe, okay? Basically. So let's finish this one.
The subculture started buying these books by the thousands.
Yeah, the money just started pouring in.
Yeah.
Chad and Julie were suddenly packing local tabernacles and community centers with all these eager listeners who just wanted to know the secrets of the end times.
Wait, I have to ask, did Chad actually believe he was having these prophetic visions, or was this just a cynical grift?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Because hearing his son talk about the sudden influx of cash makes it sound a lot more like a calculated business strategy than a genuine...
With what you just said, Maury, it's dehumanization, a more individualized form, the same thing that justifies the current genocide in Gaza. to me, it's Lauren Stalker is Lori and Chad zombie. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's Trisha's troll. It's Tim Ballard's lukewarm. It's Gypsy Rose's cockroaches, basically. I don't know. Even look, Gypsy Rose did release an apology, I guess, a statement in her, I think it was from TikTok, addressing the racial slurs that between her and Ryan back in the day whenever she was incarcerated and the prison calls came out between her and Ryan Anderson. And I was like, that's all Lauren had to do was just address that, publicly, privately. And she still could. I don't think it's going to happen, but all this instead of just apologizing, to me, that's like so grandiose. But anyways.
And psychological delusion.
It's a vital question. And the psychological consensus usually points to this dangerous overlap of both.
Oh, really? Both at the same time?
Yeah. Initially, there is often a conscious inflation of the truth, like a grift, driven by financial desperation or a desire for status. But when you are suddenly surrounded by hundreds of people looking at you with reverence, hanging on your every word.
Oh, the ego just inflates.
Exactly. Narcissism takes over. The grifter begins to buy into their own con. The external validation becomes the proof of their own divinity.
Which perfectly explains why the doctrines suddenly started getting wilder. They had to keep upping the ante to maintain that reverence.
Right. You can't just keep saying the same thing. You have to escalate.
So they start introducing energy healing using pendulums and seer stones for cash. And Chad heavily promotes this concept called multiple mortal probations.
Which is essentially a rebranded form of reincarnation.
Which is completely forbidden in their mainstream religious doctrine, right?
Strictly forbidden. But we have a transcript from an interview with Eric Smith, a friend of Chad's who was later excommunicated.
Right, I read that one.
Yeah, and Eric explained that he was drawn to this multiple probations belief because it filled in massive theological gaps for him. It answered the problem of theodicy.
The idea of why good people suffer in this life.
Exactly. Chad's doctrine offered a really neat answer. Perhaps they were being tested for something they did in a past life.
It's like a spiritual gateway drug. Because once you accept that divine truth comes from swinging a pendulum over a map rather than, observable reality, you've completely dismantled your brain's immune system against absurdity.
That's a great way to put it.
You start by buying some extra wheat for your basement. And suddenly you're paying cash to find out you were the prophet Isaiah or Joan of Arc in a past life.
What's fascinating here is the underlying psychological hook, which Anna, our insider, identified perfectly.
And what was that?
It's pride.
Ah.
Possessing this hidden esoteric knowledge made members feel enlightened compared to the mainstream public. They were the chosen few.
Oh, I see.
And when your ego is stroked at effectively, it becomes an addiction. Once that seed of supreme cosmic knowledge is planted, you have to protect it.
Which means isolating yourself from anyone who doesn't share the delusion. Because a psychological delusion of this magnitude cannot survive friction. It requires a flawless echo chamber.
We see the mechanics of this echo chamber perfectly documented in what investigators call the Reddit email.
Oh man, this email, it's wild.
It really is. This was a detailed document compiled by friends of Melanie Gibb, one of Lori Vallow's closest confidants, who were watching this group just spiral totally out of control.
Yeah.
And the details in this email show a staggering escalation.
It's mind-bending. The email outlines Chad claiming he secretly sealed himself to Lori via astral projection portals.
Right.
Meaning, his spirit literally left his body and traveled to meet her spirit in a sacred space.
Just completely divorced from reality.
That's a good question. And one that I've had. Gina Ross asked, when did Mindy Caldwell raise the concern on Mormon Stories podcast about Lauren or John's questionable contacts? Now, I know that she didn't raise it on Mormon Stories podcast per se, and I don't know if that's the point maybe you're trying to make, which is a good point. She didn't. I'll just say that. Not to my knowledge. She didn't raise a concern on Mormon Stories podcast, but she had spoke out on Reddit Y'all know how I am with Reddit. I'm not very good at this. Like, I don't know how to find like all the conversations. Okay. So laugh because it's funny. Is this how? Well, this is interesting. I haven't read this. I'll have to put a pin in that. That was good. That was good. I don't know if there's an easier way or what. I'm sure there is. I'm sure. Do I do it here? Or is there somewhere else? I can maybe put Mindy Caldwell. Ooh. Yeah, I did it. Okay, so this was 9 months ago. Keep sweet, no mo. I like her name. This is Mindy's post. Hi, everyone. Mindy Caldwell here. I have appeared several times on Mormon Stories podcast with John Dehlin, Lauren Matthias, Megan Connor, and Dr. John remotely. I'll start by saying that I deeply value my friendship with John Dehlin and would never speak for him on this issue or any other. John is a sincere guy with a big heart, and Margie Dehlin is one of the warmest, most genuine souls I've ever known. I adore them both. I've spent many hours in the Mormon Stories studios with John, Lauren, and Megan. I care about all of them. We have worked hard in our collaborations, and I am proud of the episodes we have released. A little backstory on my relationship with Lauren and Hidden True Crime. I told my friend John Dehlin years ago that I'd been doing a deep dive on the Daybell case, so he asked if I'd like to join him with the Matthiases on Mormon Stories to talk about it. I came prepared to those interviews with a binder full of detailed notes, and the others nicknamed me Binder Mindy. I have always relied on my trusty notes and deep research as a way to contribute to the conversations. I have been effusive about HTC in the past and have found value in much of their content. I have praised Lauren for her work ethic. The first time I met Lauren in person was at a trial in Boise. She and her friend Sarah Nelson, generously allowed me to stay with them, for which I'm grateful. I saw Lauren's hustle and tenacity behind the scenes and was impressed by her. Outside of our collabs, discussing the Daybell case, Visions of Glory, and Frankie/Hildebrandt, I have followed HTC's content less in recent years, mostly because of life getting busy and also just feeling drained from true crime in general. When I accepted John Dehlin's invitation a few months ago to join as a co-host for Lauren's personal story, I was unaware at the time of any of the drama behind the scenes. In retrospect, the timing of the interview raises concerns, but I will confirm that John has wanted to interview Lauren for a long time, and I was happy to participate. I sent a message to Lauren and Grayson shortly after the 9-hour live to extend my support. There were moments during the long live where things weren't quite adding up in my mind, but my message of support was mostly in response to the evident distress of the situation. Since then, I have spent many hours consuming content and sifting through information, including frequent visits to this subreddit. I appreciate what has been shared. My Mormon faith deconstruction has taught me that there is freedom and great value in learning to think critically. I spent the first 40 years of my life following the church path with gusto, and the past 11 years meticulously attempting to detangle a lifetime of conditioning. I have learned the importance of challenging confirmation biases and examining evidence despite devotion or loyalty to the subject of examination. I recognize that I only have a hangnail's worth of skin in this game. I don't produce my own content and keep a pretty low profile in general. I'm not a keeper of any damning information and don't know most of the people involved in this drama. The HTC rabbit hole started out as confusion and sadness several weeks ago. I had high hopes for the We Respond video as a way to bring clarity to the situation, but instead I was catapulted into an obsessive quest for more information. My metaphorical binder is bursting at the seams. Even considering the mounting pile of incredulous moments of discovery these past weeks, the copyright suit against Krusha and attempts to silence people talking about it is a line in the sand and led me to finally say something publicly. What the hell, you guys? Very poor form and so incredibly disappointing. And there's my mom. Thank you for supporting Krusha. We appreciate you. I pray this is resolved quickly and she can repost her vid. Lauren couldn't have gone any further out of bounds than this, which, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. That was crazy. We've been through so very much. I finally got to a point where I was not feeling the black cloud, which has been dangling over us since July 11, 2019. Life felt lighter. I began looking forward to little things, feeling a sort of normalcy, if there's such a thing. And then this mess with Lauren. It's disgusting. Another struggle to overcome. Take care. So, yeah, to answer your question, right? She didn't do it on Mormon Stories, but she did it after the We Respond video, which was after the 9-hour video. But again, I appreciate her. I appreciate her for taking a stance publicly. And I mean, but there's me who also questions everybody's motives. Okay. Look, and I mean, I want to believe they're genuine, but I also can't help but wonder, and I mean, I'm sure it's because of what all has happened over the past 7 years, I mean, good God. Especially with the fallout with Lauren, with Megan, Joe Schmo, Trisha, just everybody I was surrounded in, had the knives in my back, and I was like, holy shit, it was like sharks. And I was like, wow. It's very creepy. It's very, I don't know. It's just concerning to me. So it's also changed my perspective about what a cult looks like in modern day, what this cult looks like. And I'm saying a cult because holy shit. You're led to believe, or I was led to believe, that these people were advocates and in our corner, and they were to a point, and only when it suited them. So, and then as soon as, we became not useful, not willing to, or just wanting to speak out on our experience, then we were retaliated upon. And I mean, there are people out there, people that were my moderators, who are actively out there telling people that I am suffering from mental health issues. And I'm like, now is when you're going to fucking say that? Come over here. I bet you won't say that to my face, because see it now when it's all adjudicated. Are you cray cray? Nobody believes you. I'm like this all the time. Okay. I'm the same today as I was yesterday, as the day before. So I'm just putting that message out there, because that's disgusting. And it says a whole lot more about you than it does me. Okay. Alrighty. But, expert, right? Thank you, expert. I'm glad you're here and everybody's here. And I'm so sorry that day, if you're here. I don't know if you are, but there was one day expert was in chat and I didn't know until later. And then anyways, I didn't get to say hi. But thank you. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so the cult, and I can kind of see this over Delphi. I can see this with the Idaho 4 case. I can see this with the Manson case. I can see this with other cases. Okay. And it's like, okay, so the white the white woman syndrome, they say, is, you know, those are the cases that make it to the, you know, oh my gosh, I just forgot the damn term. Cases of interest, you know, mainstream, public. What am I trying to say? Highlight, headlight, spotlight, high profile. There we go. Is it the white women syndrome? The blonde hair, blue eyed kids, pretty, you know, ladies. Or is it these people's way of controlling the narrative, and that's just their preference in victims? I'm just asking. Anyways, because I feel like this is the rest of the cult. This is the rest of the people. It's the journalists. It's the ones who are feeding and exploiting these families. The families may not know that yet. And I hope that's not true. Okay. But I mean, it just has kind of shifted my perspective a little bit, where I look at things, wow, you know, because I already look at the media networking that happens where they pass around victims. And I hate to say it point blank like that. Thank you, Miss Jessica. We love you too. But I mean, it's just another perspective to think about, you know, just kind of shift your perspective and question the motives of people around victims that ingratiate themselves into victims' lives, that tell, you know, that are there and they're like, oh yeah, well, I heard from Kay. Kay said this about Charles and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my God, I would never say that. Like, I knew about my stepdad possibly being, or thinking that he had been poisoned by Lori, but I didn't share that. It wasn't my story to share. Lauren did. She sure did. Okay. And I'm just like, ew, you know, like, it's just gross. It's gross. Hold on. Looking for something. Look at this. Is it showing y'all? Yeah. Look at Lauren's face. Look at that. Look at Gigi. She's like, what the fuck? Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Let's start with Zulema Pastenas. I hope I'm getting her pronunciation right. The reason I don't know it is because she's been a ghost. We've only seen her name. We've never seen her. She's never spoken. She has kept totally silent for the last 3.5 years. But there she is. There's Zulema Pastenas.
Thank you, Fridge Breaker.
For whatever reason, she got in real thick with Lori a year before all of this parade of horribles began. She got into the cult, fell for Chad and all the garbage that he was spewing. Chad told Zulema he was Jesus Christ's brother. I know, right? Who would believe that stuff? But she did. And Lori did.
Hey, Felicia.
Other people did too. And it didn't take them long to be hook, line, and sinker with all of this garbage. And today, she was just tossing out all that garbage from the stand.
So, a pause on Miss Ashley Banfield right here. But Kaylin, the aggressive press, thank you for sharing this information. And I mean, it's so true. Okay, so I don't even know how to posit it. But basically, I feel like Lori and Chad's case was high profile, not because of the bizarreness of it all, because I think any case has that potential. And it's like, you know, you wonder about the ones, like you said, the Native Alaskan people who go missing like crazy and they never get pushed to the top. And it's, look, I'm in a position where I don't know what it's like for a case to stay unknown or unseen, but I can tell you about my experience of it being seen. And oh my God, it's exploitative. My experience, you know, my mom's experience too, at least with Lauren. I mean, some people, you know, I don't feel exploited by other news organizations. I feel exploited as all get out with Lauren, you know, like she preyed on my family, in my opinion. And I mean, it's just weird. So I'm like, do these cults who practice this stuff, who create these victims, okay, who take their lives, do they push them into, because they're usually people in powerful positions, do they push them to the surface to make them high profile in order to drive the narrative? That's basically my question, because it feels like that a whole lot of the time. And it's like they see it through, but they also control the shit out of a narrative. They control a victim by NDAs, by, oh, hey, we're going to do a Netflix. Okay. Sign this NDA. Don't talk about it. And that's how they shut you up. To me, I don't know. Because like, to me, that sounds torturous. I'm like, torturous interference. No, I'm just picking. But I mean, like, that's torturous to make me shut up. Oh my God. I think it's been very empowering to have my own channel, Yeah, big time. My dad, zooming in on him, picking the skin, when they sitting at their dinner table, the video she struck me for. Anyways, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. But I didn't see all this. I mean, I felt it, and I did not like Lauren at all. Okay. And I tried telling my parents about it. I tried telling my mom about it. It kind of drove a wedge between us for some time, a significant amount of time. That was crucial, in my opinion. Like, it was such a lonely time when I was learning about all this cult shit. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know my head's going to explode. Like, this is crazy. This stuff is not what they're saying in the mainstream narrative. Everybody, and they just back one another. It's so crazy. And so then I feel like, oh my God, nobody's going to believe what I'm saying. But people see through it. It's like the damage is done. Like Lauren and John, their job is done. They're like, oh, peace out. But they don't really peace out because they feel possession over this case in my family. For some reason, it's weird. Yeah, Lauren's kindness always comes at a cost, for sure. Poor Ashley Banfield, look at her. Turtle gets tortoise interference. Oh my gosh, look. So I made this, dude. I gotta make the one with the turtle, but basically, I covered it with the comment. Anyways, I gotta make sounds with it too. Crush K. See? Get a fucking life. Anyways. And how, I don't know if anybody knows or followed the case for a long time, about how Lori, I always want to say Lauren and Lori. Okay. I always get those confused. Shocker. How Lauren said she was a Venus flytrap. Well, that kind of goes with this, So I'm going to have one coming out where the mushroom is. Anyways. Yeah, too much time on my hands. Okay. Whatever. All right, y'all. I'll upload the MP3 of that thing we were listening to in my notebook, my Gemini notebook. I'll upload it and it'll just be on its own, but I'm ready to go lay down and rest my pinched nerve. It's getting on my nerve. And then here's one.
Keep this between us. He's almost here.
I don't know. AI came up with that shit. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Justice for Tylee Trolls, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Let's carry the conversation down below. Please hit the like button. Share this out if you can. It really, every time you do, it pisses Trisha off. Okay. She's like, she gets all pissy. Okay. Anyways.
Brit Barbie. Haha.
Trisha Griffith.
Hello Kitty, 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 kitty.
Hello? Kitty.
Hello
Kitty, 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 kitty. Hello?
Kitty. They call me Hello Kitty, and I'm hella pretty.
My gosh, is hella fine.
Your man wanna be mine? I don't got the time, I'm a pretty little dime. Yeah, I'm hella fine, yeah, I'm hella fine.
Kitty, 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 kitty. Hello? Kitty.
Hello
Kitty, 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 kitty.
Hello
Kitty.